7 undefeated teams started the Class 1A state playoffs, and only Concord Triopia Co-op is here. Their opponent, the Rebels of Stark County. Next.
Championship weekend is here. 16 teams still have a shot at the ultimate goal of being crowned a state champion. And those 16 teams will clash right here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign over these next 2 days. And you'll see it all unfold right here on the IHSA network. Welcome, everyone. I'm Scott Lever, your field reporter for today's games. Settle in for what should be 4 terrific matchups. And it all starts in a matter of minutes with the Class 1A championship game between Toulon, Stark County, and Concord, Triopia. Triopia comes into this game a #1 seed and undefeated. It's seeking its first state championship since 1975. Stark County is a #10 seed that has rebounded nicely from a 3-game losing streak at the end of the regular season and has now hit its stride in the playoffs. Stark County is seeking its first state championship. Right now, let's send it upstairs to the guys who will bring you all the action of today's first game. Let's join Jim Spencer and Steve Mays. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Scott. And we launched this 2-day feast of football, Steve, with a great contrast in styles, the running game of Concord, Triopia, Meridosia, and the passing attack, the spread offense of the Rebels of Stark County.
Absolutely, Jim. It's a perfect day for either style today, and I think what we're going to see today is we're going to see some very young talent featured on this beautiful day here in November. It's an outstanding day. Both styles should work. Let's see who can make adjustments and pick up a victory today, but it should be an outstanding day.
Yeah, the weather today is about as perfect as it can be for a championship weekend, especially considering some of the other we've had over the past 9 years that we've been doing this. But it's a great day. Temperature by the end of the day could be up around 50 degrees.
That's right. We didn't have that the last few years, but today should be perfect if you're throwing the ball or running the football. And we got a great contrast in styles. Look forward to this matchup today.
Let's take a look at how these two teams got into this championship game. There you see Triopia in an unbelievable quarterfinal win there for Triopia. They were down 13 points with 4 minutes to go and came back to win.
Came back and got it by 1, but it's also, you notice, quite a few points scored on that board, Jim.
Yeah, they run the ball effectively, and you look at Stark County, they've had a interesting road to the final as well. They scored a touchdown in the second round win against Orangeville with less than a minute to go to win that game. Last week rallied from 18-0 down to knock off undefeated Milledgeville on the road last week.
That's right, #1 ranked Milledgeville. That is a huge win for them. And talking to their coach pre-game, that was an outstanding win for his program.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll talk about that more as the game goes on. Let's look at some of the key players we're going to feature in our 1A broadcast today. First of all, for the Trojans of Triopia, and there you see their all-everything guy, David Arndt, all-stater, and a great running back.
That's right. Actually comes into this game with 1,700 yards rushing. He's a phenomenal athlete. You'll see him carry the ball 25, 30 times today, Jim, and he's a fantastic talent.
And on defense, the pass rush is going to be key today against the spread of Stark County, and they're going to rely on one of their great defensive ends to make that happen.
And they really have to. They have 26 sacks coming between their 2 defensive ends. They've got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback today, Jim.
Yeah, Jacob Fricky will be one of those ends that tries to get to Greg Dahm, the quarterback for Stark County. Now, on the other side of things, for the Rebels of Stark County, they go with a sophomore tight end. Yes, this kid is a sophomore, folks. 6'5", 240-pound sophomore receiver by the name of Calvin Lewis, and there you see him right there.
You see his stats right there, but he does a lot of things for this team. He's the kicker, he's the punter, and when we were down on the field before the game, he is 6'5" and 240. He is a big young man.
And then on defense for Stark County, not exactly a prototypical linebacker that you normally see, but this kid is a smart defensive football player, and they rely on him to do some big things.
That's right. Luke Turnbow comes into this game with over 100 tackles. Not very big, as you can see right there, 5'9", 160, but has a nose for the football, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have the key players. Now let's see all the players. We're going to see the starting lineups of this Class 1A state championship game between the Rebels and the Trojans. Let's go to Memorial Stadium public address announcer Jeff Fritzen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for this Class 1A state championship.
That was a scramble. Yeah, because it's hard to see our
For Triopia High School, head coach Chris Thompson. And number 53, Ryan Carrier. Tackle number 58, Jacob White. And nose tackle number 76, Jacob Perry. Jacob Miller. And number 3, Jacob Tricky. Linebacker number 23, Bradley Dinsmore. Linebacker number 64, Adam Brockhouse. And linebacker number 25, David Avery. Quarterback number 4, Tim Wise.
Tight end defensive back.
Quarterback number 5, Cody Leichman. Now the starting offense for Stark County High School. Head coach, Steve Norris. Quarterback number 5, Greg Dahl. Linebacker number 83, Jeremy Morrissey. Wide receiver 81, Guy Maxson. Wide receiver 82, Andy Geezer. Wide receiver 17, Tanner Ewing. Wide receiver number 86, Calvin Lewis. And tackle number 53, Ethan Healy. And guard number 63, Vern Adams. Center number 68, Rob Lickman.
Is the starting center.
At guard number 70, Jeremy Burkholz. And tackle number 72, Dylan Kelly.
Kelly, another starting lineman, the right side of the offensive line. Steve Mays is huge by Class 1A standards.
Absolutely. Anytime you have, 2 or 3 players over 270, you've got some size, and they are legit 270, Jim. We were down there pregame, and they have some big kids.
All right, today's coin flip and captain's meeting was brought to you by Walgreens. And Walgreens is a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Good sportsmanship campaign. There you see the pregame handshakes. And that's the Do What's Right Good Sportsmanship campaign sponsored by Walgreens. Some of the Rebel fans in attendance here on this gorgeous Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, here at Memorial Stadium. And to kick it off for Triopia, there you see Jacob Millard. He's got it teed up and ready to go. And the Rebels and the Trojans just about set and ready to do battle for the Class 1A state championship here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. 24 hours of football on the IHSA television network over the next 2 days. And here is the kickoff, and it's going to sail deep and then into the end zone. And in high school football, that is an automatic touchback. So Stark County and their powerful offense will start at the 20-yard line. You see Rich Thompson, the head coach for Triopia. Triopia Meridosia. It's a co-op between Triopia and Meridosia Chambersburg that started a couple of years.
Boy, he was fired up before the game, wasn't he? We got a chance to talk to Rich Thompson down on the field before the game, and his kids are very excited as you see Stark County lining up for their first down play.
They huddle on the sideline before the first play of each drive and then come onto the field, and right from the spread, it's a bad snap to start the championship game, and Dom, the quarterback, has to dive on it back inside the 10-yard line, so a poor start. As you look at the, we saw the starting offensive lineup, and now the graphic there, Eli, Adams, Ligman, Birchtold, and Kelly up front, the offensive line, and then the backfield and receivers, and obviously in the spread, lots of receivers and big, talented receivers catching balls from Greg Dahm here today.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more, but you're going to see kids 6'5" catching the football and being able to run with it after they catch it.
So after the 11-yard loss, it's going to be an inside handoff and gain out to about the 14-yard line. Here's the Triopia defensive line. They'll go with a 5-3 look, but they're going to, at times, bring extra defensive backs in, Steve, to counter this spread offense. A pretty good crop of linebackers there, and the DBs, Wise, Kleinschmidt, and Phelps. Phelps also the quarterback for the Trojans.
That's right. We have been told that you will see Mark Williams, one of the outside linebackers, coming out, and they're going to put in Bradley Dinsmore, number 23, as an extra defensive back.
So a big 3rd and long here for Dom and company on the first drive of the game. He's going to roll out and fire the ball down the field. He's got Lewis on the far sideline. He was juggling the ball, and they're going to say that he was out of bounds. It would not have been enough for a first down anyway, so a 3 and out for Stark County. But this is no big deal.
No.
They were down 18-0 in 5 minutes last week at Milledgeville and came back and won.
Yeah, when we were preparing for this game, it was amazing looking at some of the stats. Neither of these teams really should be here. I mean, when you look at it on paper, but they found a way to win, and both teams are very excited to be here. On that play right there, on that third down play, Jim, you saw a nice hit by Brian Carragher, number 53. That's where they feel like they got to get pressure from those linebackers blitzing Greg Daum.
So a punting situation for Stark County, and Lewis gets it away. Good field position upcoming for a Triopia. The nice bounce on the kick. It's going to sail inside the 50-yard line to the 45, and it'll be down right there, and that's a pretty good effort to get Stark County out of a bad situation.
Well, lucky bounce right there. We were down on the turf. The turf's in beautiful shape. University of Illinois has done a great job remodeling this facility, and the turf, both coaches mentioned, is perfect. So the footing should not be an issue or anything in this football game.
Well, we saw the passing attack. Now we're going to see the wing T. A little double tight ends. Wing right here for Phelps, the quarterback. And it is going to be a fullback give, and we're going to see a lot of fullback give. That play right there is, Steve, maybe the key to this offense. If you can't run the fullback, you can't run this offense.
Well, exactly right. Right there, they're trying to trap with Clay Nordzik, who, comes into this game with a little over 600 yards rushing. They always try early on, talking to Rich Thompson, to establish that fullback.
We just saw the starting offensive lineup there for Triopia. Up front, Carragher, Millard, and Brockhouse, all 3-year starters for the Trojans. Another wing T look out of a double tight end offense. And we're going to see Arndt for the first time today, the school's all-time leading rusher, and he dives inside of Rebel territory around the 49-yard line. So it's going to be third down and about 4 yards to go. There you see the front line for Stark County: Paxson, Adams, Kelly, and Lewis. The linebackers very active. Turnbull, not a big linebacker, but very active and very smart. The quarterback of that defense and the defensive backs as well. Both quarterbacks play in the defensive backfield.
Boy, you see that a lot, especially in the high school level.
3rd and 4 for the Trojans. Play action, Phelps firing the ball down the field. It's intercepted on the deflection. Tanner Ewing with the pick for the Rebels, and he can run. He's going to dive out across the 40 to the 43, and the first turnover of the game is recorded by the Rebels of Stark County off a deflected pass. Tanner Ewing with the pick. As Stark County comes back on the field, here are their keys to the game. Obviously protect Daum. We talked about that because the ends for Triopia, and they get to the quarterback a lot.
Absolutely. They do need to create some mismatches. That's because they have those bigger receivers on those smaller defensive backs. They got to locate those. And then on defense, they've got to force 3 and outs with that very tough offense for Concord Triopia.
So good field position here for the Rebels. Daum wants to throw, looking right, throwing right, and off the mark intended for Lewis. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. The turnover for Triopia is their 19th of the year, and Triopia plus 23 in turnover differential this year. So they're normally on the other side of the game when it comes to turnovers.
Well, that kept them in a couple of the games during the playoffs. If you talk to their coach, Rich Thompson, they were able to create turnovers and stay in these football games. Here's a different look right here. Double twins by Stark County.
Daum from the shotgun, and a penalty flag on the play, and we're going to hear from our referee for the first time here in a moment, D. Wiley, as we'll check the marker.
Looks like an illegal shift we're going to see here, Jim, by one of the wide receivers.
Talking to the Triopia defensive captains, this is going to cost the Rebels 5 here. We're looking at 3rd and 10 if they decline the penalty.
We'll take a look at the officials now.
You just saw D. Wiley there. Penalty declined, and there's our crew out of the southern Illinois area, Harrisburg and Alvarado. And again, the referee, D. Wiley.
very much an honor for them as well.
Absolutely, they earned their way here.
Absolutely, they're graded all year, and they've earned their stripes to get here.
So 3rd and long for the Rebels, trying to take advantage of the turnover. Dom steps up and fires, and he's got a man for a first down. Making the catch, 81, Kai Paxson, and it is the first down of the game. There you see Greg Dom during the regular season compared to what he's done in the postseason.
Isn't that amazing?
907 yards passing in the postseason and 10 touchdowns. Last week against Milledgeville, over 300 yards passing.
That's right. Look at that right-hand column. That's just in these 4 games that he's played in the playoffs. That others is 9 games right there, Jim. That's amazing. He's really made a difference in this offense.
One of the reasons they've come back from after losing their last 3 regular season games. And now we got a marker again. There was some motion up front.
I think big Vern Adams, number 63, was a little anxious right there. Got a false start. Back him up 5 yards.
All right, so that'll make it 1st and 15. There you get a look at the head coach for the Rebels. And in his 4th year at Stark County, Jade Nord. 31-14 record so far. His father, Galen, was a longtime head football coach. Never brought a team to the state championship game, though. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Dom fires down the field, and he's got Lewis. Big hit, but Lewis holds on, and that'll get most of the penalty yardage back. Actually, my mistake, that was 82 making the catch, and Andy Keyser making the catch on that one.
Yep, Keyser, along with the other 2 wide receivers to his side, Jim, just ran stop routes, ran down 7 yards, all turned around. Dom finds the open receiver. That's the thing you're going to see with them. You know, they're just going to find little seams. They don't try and throw vertically a whole lot. They're just going to try and find these seams with these quick and sometimes big receivers that they have.
Dom has hit on his last 2 passes. After misfiring on his first 2, they stay with the spread and 4 receivers. Dom fires again, and he's got another first down pass and catch down to the 31-yard line. That was Calvin Lewis making the catch, and the big sophomore records a first down reception for the Rebels. There you look at the temperature right now for our Class 1A game, 32 degrees. It's going to get much warmer as the day moves on, and by the time we get to this afternoon, we'll have temperatures upwards of 50 degrees. So it's it feels like July.
Great day. That's
it's a
right.
great day compared to some of the weather we have had for championship weekend here at Memorial Stadium. So another first down, 2nd on this drive for Stark County. Dom again, and markers again.
You know what you can really notice about Stark County's offense? Look at the offensive line splits. They've got about 6 to 8 feet. They're split apart, as we'll listen to.
Well, on this drive alone, 3 of those types of penalties, but they've overcome them so far, Steve. But those are nagging little penalties for any coach, as you very well know.
They really are. But, you know, look for Dom here again to put it in the air. He does have a back in the backfield, and they are trying to spread out Triopia right now.
All right, so Dom steps up and fires deep, looking for Tanner Ewing. The ball underthrown, and a penalty flag comes in, and it looks like they're going to get Tim Wise for pass interference.
Replay.
You know, you're going to see in the replay, Tim Wise is in good shape right here on his defensive coverage. He just never turns his head. Look at that. He's got his arm up, everything. I think he would have gotten away with it if he could have been able to make a turn and look back towards the football, but he kept his head forward, as you see right there. What great camera action, and you see he did push him a little bit with the chest in the back.
So, fans, if you're not a regular viewer of high school football, pass interference is not a spot foul. It is a 15-yard penalty in high school. There you see, in relation to Champaign, where Stark County, centered in Toulon, and Triopia, centered in Concord, are not long trips for either team. Toulon just a little bit north of Peoria, and Concord in the Springfield area. So Dom on first down again, screens it out to Ewing this time, makes a man miss at the 15. He's got the 10, fumbled the ball. And it came right back in his arms.
Boy,
no, it did not.
Got that
yes,
football.
they do.
Tim Wise, you know, makes up for that mistake he made right there on the pass coverage, was able to recover that football about the 10 or 11 yard line, Jim.
So both teams have now turned it over. No score here in the Class 1A state title game. We'll have more on the IHSA television network in just a moment. Looking at this, go ahead, Steve.
Well, we're going to get a chance to look at the replay, and we're going to see the fumble as Tim Wise, number 4. You're going to see his right arm come in here and strip that ball, and the ball is going to pop right up into him. He does stay in bounds. Triopia gets a huge turnover deep in their own end zone.
So Triopia starts at its own 10 after the turnover, and quick give to David Arndt. About 4 yards for the school's all-time leading rusher.
Tell you, he's a good-looking kid. He's 6'2", 6 foot, 205. He's really put together. And, you know, once he gets in the open space, we watched a little bit on film, he's shown that he's got some wheels once he gets into the secondary.
So Triopia offense averaging over 310 yards per game rushing. And on the carry this time, Cody Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt, a sophomore. And he is wrapped up, it appears to be just a little bit short of the first down. Here are the keys to the game for Triopia. Spread the wealth. What do we mean by that?
Well, they have to do that. They've got 3 or 4 running backs with over 400 or 500 yards. You've got to maintain and sustain 2 or 3 of your running backs, and then sustain drives. They cannot get into a situation where they're 3 and out and giving this ball back to Stark County. And then the one that we think is the biggest key is mix up coverages. They're going to have to do things defensively to stop Stark County.
Kellen Phelps on the quarterback sneak, and it looks like he certainly does have the first down here. So Stark County with its, Triopia with its first down of the game. It comes at the 5:42 mark of the opening quarter. And he actually picked up about 4 or 5 yards on that quarterback sneak, and that's a pretty darn effective quarterback sneak.
Well, when you're running, you know, behind Jacob Millard at 6'1", 261, that's the guy who you want to run behind. But to pick up 4 or 5 yards on a sneak, that's a nice play.
Arndt with the cutback, positive yardage, out to about the 29-yard line. Arndt has a good combination of speed and strength. That's what Coach Thompson really talked about as the keys to his game.
You know what I've noticed about their offensive line too, Jim? They run very well. You saw right there, they pull backside guard and tackle, get them out in front of Arndt, as we get a good graphic right there of what we're looking at here in the trenches, both from Triopia's standpoint and Stark County's front 4.
On second down, it's a toss to the left side. On the carry, Bradley Dinsmore. Dinsmore, another sophomore running back for this Triopia offense, and he's close to first down yardage.
Boy, he got a huge block right there from David Arndt. I don't know if we'll see this here in our replay, but watch number 25 at the top of your screen. I'll get a chance. He gets a block on Aaron Nunez. The linebackers, you see Arndt right there. Nice pickup. As you can see, Triopia is starting to establish something on the offensive ground right now. They've got a nice front 5 on their offensive line.
Well, when you run the wing T, you love 3rd and 1. And that's what Triopia has right here. And there was movement up front. Stark County moved initially. And then there was a reaction to that by Triopia. And we're going to have the 4th penalty of this game. And the Rebels are going to be called for their 3rd accepted penalty as they're offsides, and that will result in a Triopia first down. The ball will go out to the 38-yard line. This drive for Triopia started back at its own 10 after the fumble recovery. Wing right here, and it's going to be the fullback up the middle for Triopia. Bobby Shute. Shute will rotate with Kleinschmidt at that fullback position, and Bobby Shute, one of the players that is from Meridosia.
Right, and he's one of those kids that we were talking about spreading the wealth to. Yeah. He's a kid that comes in with 71 carries, 460 yards, 5 TDs. They've got 3 or 4 of those guys on this team, and they're going to have to continue to do that.
Shute rushed for 81 yards last week in the semifinal victory over Salt Fork. Phelps is going to keep it off the left side, first down and more, into Rebel territory. Look at the quarterback go inside the 25. And the senior quarterback, Kellen Phelps, with a big play, the first big offensive play of the game. It's a run of 32 yards for the Triopia quarterback. Let's go down to the field now. Scott Leber is standing by. Scott, take it away, buddy.
Take it back, guys. Take it back.
All right, we're going to get back to the action here after that 32-yard run by Phelps. First down for Triopia inside the 25-yard line. Fullback give. Bobby Shute up the middle. He's got a first down as he dives down to the 9-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a 1st and goal for Triopia. Run of 15 yards for Bobby Shute.
Well, that's that base play they like to run. Triopia, that little trap. They pull the backside guard, get up the field, and Bobby Shute is having a real nice series here, as is Concord Triopia.
The last 2 runs for Shute have resulted in 21 yards. 8 plays, 81 yards on the drive so far. They're 9 yards away from the end zone. Why not give it to Bobby Shute again? He carries to the 6.
Well, he's running over the top right now of their left guard, Adam Brockhouse and Jacob Whited, the offensive tackle number 58, and they are really knocking people off the football.
There you see Schute's numbers on the season. Out of the fullback position, averaging nearly 6.5 yards per carry. That'll get it done. That'll help set this offense up. 2nd down, goal to go. Line of scrimmage just inside the Stark County 7-yard line. Arndt's going to get the carry. Arndt fighting forward around the 2 before he's brought down. It's going to be 3rd and goal for Triopia. We'll get a replay of this run from David Arndt.
And this is what they hit you with as well, a little misdirection right there as Arndt tries to get to the outside. Nice hit by Jeremy Morrissey, the outside linebacker for Stark County, number 83, really put a pop on Arndt.
Big 3rd and goal. There you see Kellen Phelps, who helped set up this drive with the 32-yard run. Double tights and double wings. Phelps is going to keep it, and the strong quarterback into the end zone for the touchdown. He bowled his way in from 2 yards out. Why not? With his long run to set up the drive, the quarterback, Kellen Phelps, on the sneak, takes it into the end zone. First score of this 1A state title game.
Now get right into the huddle and go for their 2-point conversion. You'll see this a lot this afternoon.
The hurry-up 2-point conversion attempt, trying to make it 8-0. And it is a give up the middle and taking it into the end zone. David Arndt, they tack on the 2-point conversion, a 90-yard touchdown drive for the Trojans, and they take an 8-0 lead here in the Class 1A state championship game. 1:53 showing on the first quarter clock. All of the yardage on that 90-yard drive, Steve, coming on the ground.
On the ground. They're really establishing that that front 5 that they have. Their line, they're very proud of them. They've got a couple juniors in that line. They're very tough up front.
Before the kickoff, let's go down to the field for Scott Leber.
Guys, I talked to Rich Thompson, the head coach of Triopia, this week. He says he has 16 starters back from a 9-3 team last year, but no question, the heart of this team is the guys up on the line, and we just saw it there with that 90-yard drive. They would love to do just that the rest of the day, just grind it out on the ground. Meanwhile, in a big game like this, you got to play injured. Matt Hollis, number 58, starting inside linebacker, is playing with a broken wrist and a big cast on his right hand for Stark County today. Back to you guys.
All right, good work, Scott. Thank you very much. An impressive drive for Stark County.
It really was, and you know, with Matt Hollis having that right hand in a cast, that makes it very difficult to try and make tackles, as he's going to get a full afternoon of Arndt and all the running backs coming right at him.
11 plays, 90 yards. The drive ate up just over 5 minutes of the clock here in the quarter, and another kick into the end zone. That's for Millard. That's 2 for 2, and that's just what the doctor ordered for your special teams. There you see the scoring drive with Kellen Phelps capping it off with that 2-yard run. Had the big 32-yard run on that drive. And we'll see a replay of Phelps' quarterback sneak. The end zone view here.
Helps to be 6'1" right there, as Phelps is able to stretch the football out over the goal line and get in. And let's see if Stark County now is able to establish their offense. They've gone through a series now that, you know, pregame jitters should be out. Let's see if they can establish something as well offensively, Jim.
Starting from the 20. Dom takes the snap. A little bit of pressure coming back near side, and penalty flag comes in at the end of the play. Dom ended up losing a yard on that scramble, as Triopia getting some pressure. And it's going to be holding on the Rebels. Stark County has been stung by penalties here early. That'll be the 4th accepted one and the 5th that has been called on them.
10-yard penalty, half the distance, replay first down.
Well, that play right there was really a coverage sack. They were trying to go to the single receiver side to Calvin Lewis, but the free safety for Triopia went over the top, and they actually double covered him, and the quarterback Dom had nowhere to throw the football.
So now after the penalty, it's 1st and 21. Dom inside his own 5 fires the ball, and he's got a man making the catch. Again,
Dom's
82,
pass
Andy
complete to
Kieser.
82, Andy Kieser. Tackled by 64, Adam Brockhouse.
There you see Kieser, who just caught that to pass out to the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 6 yards, and it makes it 2nd and 15.
It looks like Triopia is just going to let Stark County throw everything underneath that they want. Their safeties are playing very deep. Kellen Phelps is about 15, 20 yards off the football. And it looks like right now they're going to a little bit of a zone coverage, as you can see.
8-0 Triopia, 2nd and 15, more penalty flags. Now this game it's starting off poorly for Stark County, but not nearly as bad as last week against Milledgeville, where this was the start of the game for Stark County. Well, you let the other team return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. You go 3 and out, then you allow a long punt return to set up a short field. Then you go 3 and out, and you have a punt blocked, and then all of a sudden you're down 18-0.
18-0, right.
And they came back and won 27-25, 27-24 last week at Milledgeville. So this is nothing for Stark County. Dom wants to run, picking his way, and then upended as he gets to the 15-yard line.
Wow, what a hit. I believe that was number 5, Cody Kleinschmidt, coming in from his cornerback position. They had him out in the flat here. We're going to see this on a replay as Dom is going to just take this on a quarterback draw. And let's watch for Cody Kleinschmidt. I believe that's number 5, comes in, put a huge hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, that was the sophomore Kleinschmidt making the play. Here you see another angle on it.
You know, that's one of the things right there, Jim, we talked about in the pregame. There's sophomores on this field that are going to be making plays. There's some very good young talent on both of these football teams.
Well, the first play of the second quarter will be a 3rd and 15 for the Rebels. 1 quarter is in the books, and it's 8-0 in favor of Triopia. We'll have more from Memorial Stadium after these words from your local stations. Already down 8-0. Stark County faced with a 3rd and 15 as we start the second 12 minutes. Dom fires it deep, looking for Ewing, the ball overthrown. It's 4th down, and Triopia should get decent field position off this punt.
They really should. As you know, we talked to Rich Thompson, said he was going to mix things up. They only rushed 2 defensive linemen right there, dropped 9 guys back into coverage. Dom just had nobody to throw to, Jim.
So early second quarter action, 90-yard touchdown drive for Triopia after recovering a fumble. And now Calvin Lewis on to punt it for the Rebels. He stands inside of his own 5-yard line. The kick is away.
You know, I believe they've actually had Jeremy Morrissey's doing the punting right now. I noticed that on the first punt, it's Morrissey and not Calvin Lewis.
Thank you, Steve. And at the first quarter statistical update brought to us by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Total yards in the first quarter, 92-42. The big stat there, 5 penalties.
Yep.
They've really hampered any momentum for Stark County.
That's right. Shot themselves in the foot a couple times, but you notice that big 92 there, rush yards. They really are establishing, as we've mentioned a couple times, the line of scrimmage.
So after that punt, Triopia takes over at its own 48-yard line. And a handoff trying to get off the left side. And that was Dinsmore, Bradley Dinsmore on the carry for the Trojans, and about a yard there on that play, maybe 2, out close to midfield.
You know, Stark County has a couple very big defensive end. Kai Paxton, 6'4", 185, and on the other side, you've got Calvin Lewis at 6'5", 235. They're not a team you can get outside on very easily, and we've seen Triopia just running between tackles right now, and that's where they're having their success.
Triopia stays with the double tight end offense. Arndt is going to get the carry, trying to bounce it to the outside and right, and he does get the corner, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds, but he should have first down yardage, and he does at the 42-yard line.
That time they were able to get outside with Arndt. He showed his speed. We've seen him going between tackles most of that first quarter. As you see the stats real quick right there by David Arndt, we are going to get a chance to look at this replay. Good seal block on the outside by the tight end. Maybe even got away with a little bit of a hold, and Arndt's able to pick up the first down. Nice hit at the end of the play.
About a 9-yard run there for Arndt to give him 29 yards in the game so far. Phelps on play action, fires the ball to a wide open player down the field. The intended receiver was Cody Kleinschmidt. He was wide open at about the 15-yard line, but the pass a little bit off the mark.
Well, he was wide open. This is the play you saw early in the first quarter. Well, Kellen Phelps actually kept the football and ran it. That time he had the option to throw right there, just underthrew the wide receiver.
10 minutes and 56 seconds for the second quarter. It was Sean Kerr, the intended receiver there, and he caught the touchdown pass a couple of weeks ago that stunned Tuscola. Run up the middle, big one, inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Another first down. Nordsick on the carry for the Trojans.
Boy, back to the game that they like to do, that little trap game inside. You see the lineman fold blocking number 53 pulling through there, Brian Carragher. Nice block. Nordsick, little quick head movement right there. Freed him up to pick up an extra 6 or 7 yards, Jim.
Clay Nordsick with a 17-yard run as Triopia continues to pound away on the ground. There you saw the numbers for Nordsick. It's going to be an inside counter reverse play, and Dinsmore carries close to another first down for Triopia.
Another one of those talented sophomores we're talking about, Bradley Dinsmore. Not a big kid, 5'10", 146. You're going to see on the replay, this is where they lull you to sleep. Everything's been inside. They fake the handoff right there, double handoff, and Dinsmore's able to get up inside. Nice tackle to save a touchdown by Tanner Ewing.
Boy, plays like that are just staples of a wing T type of misdirection offense, and Triopia with great execution there, and they've got a first down deep inside of Stark County territory. Fullback give this time, and it's bottled up at the line of scrimmage. You see the clock ticking down to the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. Nordsick the carry on the carry once again for the Trojans.
I noticed that Stark County staying in their base 4 defense right now. They're starting to really bring those linebackers up, Jim. Almost about a yard behind the defensive line, almost making it look like an 8-man front. As you're going to see them go into their goal line defense.
Second down and 8. It's going to be a toss. Here comes Dinsmore, left side. He's got the 5. He's got the touchdown. Bradley Dinsmore, the sophomore, takes it in for Triopia's second touchdown of the first half, and Triopia has a 14-0 lead here in the 1A title game.
Boy, you can't talk enough about the blocking. Brian Carragher, we're going to see, just gets a huge block. Pulled from his backside guard position, was able to actually get out and block the corner on that side of the defense to allow Dinsmore to get up in there for the touchdown.
Going for 2 again. Phelps play action, pass into the end zone, and it is going to be caught for the 2-point conversion. Making the catch was Jacob Fricke. 16-0 in favor of Triopia. We'll have more from Memorial Stadium in Champaign after these words from your local stations.
going to get a chance to look here at the replay of the touchdown by Bradley Dinsmore, as we're talked about. Look at the block out here by Brian Carragher, number 53, gets a pancake, and Dinsmore gets into the end zone. Another ground look at this play, as you see Carragher with a huge block, and now a huge lead by Triopia as it extends to 16-0 here early in the second quarter.
Triopia with 144 yards rushing already, and there's still 9:24 left to play in the first half. Millard does not kick it in the end zone this time. Tanner Ewing gets the return, and he's going to be tackled immediately. Tim Wise running down the field and makes a solid defensive special teams tackle, and again, poor field position for Stark County.
Well, and I think people really underestimated the team speed for Triopia. I mean, everybody came in thinking Stark County runs this spread offense. They've got to have an advantage in speed. I haven't seen that yet, Jim. Triopia very much has impressed me with their overall team speed.
Well, Triopia has played against teams that run this the last couple of weeks. Tuscola, Salt Fork last week. So they've played against this offense a lot of late. So they've got a feel for it over the last couple of weeks. On first down, Dom looking to throw. He's going to fire it deep down the field, and some miscommunication there as Keyser, the intended receiver, wasn't expecting the pass to be thrown. As there you see the 7-play, 52-yard touchdown drive for Triopia's second score of the first half. Dinsmore with the 11-yard touchdown run to cap it off. Stark County's starting field position, its own 20, the 43, its own 20, and its own 21. The average start line, their own 25 so far.
Right. There is a little bit of wind down in the stadium, and it is at their back in this quarter. Maybe that will help Greg Daum and his receivers. There's a slight wind. I don't know if it's enough much to affect the passing game, but let's see if it helps Stark County here in the second quarter.
It's going to be an option pitch as they try the running game. Morrissey gets the carry on that option play, and that will put Stark County in positive rushing yardage in the game. We'll see another look at this. They like to run this play. This is their base running play out of this spread offense.
A little bit of speed option right there. Greg Daum, has the option to keep that football as well. That time he decided to pitch to his wide receiver, who actually came around as one of his running backs. But here we got 3rd and about 6. I look for him to put the ball in the air here.
I know it's still early, but this is a big 3rd down. Stark County really needs this to stem the tide and get some momentum itself. Dom is going to roll out, fires the ball in the flat, and the ball is going to be dropped. Would have been a first down, but Kai Paxson unable to hold on, and Stark County is now 1 of 4 trying to convert 3rd down so far in this game.
This is a very good throw by Greg Daum, running to his left. Tough throw for a right-handed quarterback. That ball should have been caught to keep this drive going. Now they're forced one more time to punt the football away to an offense that's really having some success.
David Arndt and Cody Kleinschmidt go back to field this punt from Jeremy Morrissey. 8:24 for the first half. Good snap back to Morrissey, and the kick is away. Pretty good one. And it's going to bounce and take a very good Stark County roll inside the 25, rolling dead at the 23-yard line. That is a 53-yard punt.
Wow.
For Jeremy Morrissey.
Must be a reason that Morrissey's punting this afternoon, but that one right there, I think he could have you tried to field that football. They picked up an extra 15, 20 yards on the bounce, but both return men just stood there, held their position as the ball went over their head. Well, maybe they want to just keep this longer drive stuff rolling. They've had a lot of success running the football. Maybe that's part of their game plan.
Last 2 times Triopia has had it. Had a 90-yard touchdown drive and a 52-yard touchdown drive. They start at their own 23. Here's Arndt hitting the backfield, and Calvin Lewis brings him down for a negative play, and a late flag comes in at the end of the run. And we'll have to check this out. This is has the feel of something, like late hit, personal foul sort of thing.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that was a good call on your part, Jim. When that many flags come flying in, everybody in the stadium saw it. It was a late hit on the play. That at least gets Concord Triopia out from under the shadow of their own goal line, and they'll have the ball here at about the 35, 36-yard line.
6th penalty in the first half on Stark County. Well, you take a great defensive play and you completely wipe it out with the penalty. Very frustrating for Coach Nord and the Stark County staff. Fullback give, and about a 4-yard run right up the middle.
Well, that's what they've been doing. You know, on first down, they're averaging 4 or 5 yards, and it puts them in a situation where it's 2nd and 4, 2nd and 6, something that's manageable, and they can roll the quarterback out a little bit. They can stay with their belly and counter game. It's really allowed them to do some good things on 2nd and 3rd down.
Bobby Shute picked up 4 yards on that first down run. Shute in there at the fullback position, and play action. Phelps stops, fires down the field, and overshoots the intended receiver, Cody Kleinschmidt. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, I think Jacob Fricke, number 3, is going to go back to the huddle and say, hey, Mr. Phelps, I was wide open on this play. Phelps never really looked backside, as you see here. He's going for the home run, trying to find the other tight end, Sean Kerr. Pretty nice target himself, 6'2", 190, a junior. They really have some talent at those tight end positions.
There you see Triopia 2 of 3 on 3rd down so far in the game, 7-19 for the 2nd quarter. It's 3rd and 6. Phelps, counter. Dinsmore, first down and more, into Stark County territory to the 45-yard line. Bradley Dinsmore converts on 3rd down.
Good look right there at Bradley Dinsmore. Not very big, 146. You see that little boot action right there. Dinsmore's following his blocks. Offensive line's pushing people around. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and long, 3rd and short. They're going to stay with their running game.
You know, people love the spread, and it's, you know, really cool to watch, and they're throwing it around. But when the wing tee is executed like that, that's fun to watch too.
Right, you're right.
Phelps is going to keep it. Breaks a tackle in the backfield and surges forward for a solid run of around 6 yards. Knocked down at the 39-yard line, pickup of 6, and it'll be 2nd and 4.
You know, when I was looking at the offensive line for Triopia, they're not overly big. I mean, their guards are 190, 195 pounds. Now I see the reason why. You better be able to move if you're going to play on that offensive line. They're always pulling. They're always trapping. It's not like they're wedge blocking all the time, Jim. They're getting out in front of these backs and the quarterback. I really love watching this offense.
Great experience up front. You know, 3-year starters. Here's a handoff up the middle, and that's David Arndt. And he is going to have a first down run and knocked down at the 31-yard line.
Well, and then you have to deal with this. You got a little scat back coming at you the previous play, and now Arndt comes at you about 200 pounds lower in his shoulder. Not much to tackle there, and just running people over. Another big first down for Triopia. They will have the ball here on the 31-yard line.
Jade Nord hoping his defense can make a stand here. His team already down 16-0, and Triopia on the march. The fullback will get the carry. Bobby Shute. Pickup of 3 yards for Shute. We're now inside of 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter.
You know, we talked about distributing the ball. You've got Kellen Phelps has 45 yards rushing, Dinsmore 43, Arndt 34, Shoots 32, Nordsick 20. Boy, is that nice.
Remember, one of our keys to the game, spread the wealth.
Absolutely.
And they're doing that very effectively here in the first half. Phelps is going to toss it to Arndt. Big hole off the right side. He might go. Cuts back, and see you later. David Arndt waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. And it's 22-0 in favor of Triopia.
Well, they really are showing some team speed right here. Great block. Pay attention to the left tackle who's going to pull around. Jacob Whited. See the block out there as he gets the corner on the ground. And Arndt is off to the races.
Again, Triopia going for 2, trying to go 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions. And they're not going to get in this time, as they tried to run Bobby Shute up the middle, and he was stopped short. So it stays at 22-0. And we're going to go ahead and step aside. 5:14 to go, first half. It's all Triopia so far. Stark County We'll get the ball back after this network timeout. 8 plays, 77 yards, ended with this run from David Arndt.
Another little pitch out there to Arndt as you see these linemen for Triopia just flying around, knocking people on the ground. Good block on the outside by Sean Kerr, one of their very talented tight ends.
And on the kickoff, Tanner Ewing has room to run. He's running right into your living room. Ewing up the left sideline. He might go, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds. But a huge momentum-shifting play for Tanner Ewing. Steve, that's exactly what Stark County needed.
Well, they did. They haven't had anything go right here in the first half. Less than 5 minutes left to go. They needed something, and maybe this can get them into the end zone.
A 72-yard kickoff return for Tanner Ewing, showing off his great speed there. And now an opportunity for Stark County to get back in this title game. Well, they rallied from 18-0 down last week to win, and now they're down 22-0 here against Triopia, but they're now inside of the Trojan red zone.
That's right. You see them staying with their standard offensive formation, double twins. They're going to look to Calvin Lewis, and try and find him, number 86. He's the outside receiver down here at the bottom of your screen.
This is the 5th possession for Stark County. Their first 4 ended on a punt, a fumble, and 2 other punts, and a first down run. That was Nick Rumbold getting the carry. Rumbold had been injured for a couple of weeks, missed a couple of games, but gets a carry there and loses 1 as he's back in the lineup for Stark County in this championship game.
Well, there's a look of frustration right there. Jade Nord just wondering what the heck he can do to get his offense untracked. Let's see what they can do on 2nd and long here late in the 2nd quarter.
Right now, Triopia is winning the battle up front on both sides, and the scoreboard reflects that. Dom firing towards the end zone, the ball up for grabs, and it's tipped away and incomplete. That was Bradley Dinsmore on the coverage. Kai Paxson was the intended receiver, and now it's 3rd and 11.
Well, that's just a great play right there by Dinsmore. Fade route. Dom throws the ball where he needs to be. Maybe he could have probably thrown it a yard farther, but that's just a great play by Dinsmore. I'll tell you what, that talented sophomore's had one heck of a first half.
Paxson 6'4", Dinsmore at 5'10", making the defensive play there.
We talked about that early in the first half, that maybe that was the advantage Stark County had, not there on that play.
1 of 4 on 3rd down is Stark County. Big one here, 3rd and 11, but this is 4-down territory, no doubt. Dom fires, and he's got a man, and it is going to be close to first down yardage. Making the catch was Andy Keyser, tackled around the 10, and they're going to spot it inside the 10 here, and they're probably going to have to measure here. We'll get another look at this reception from Andy Keyser.
Going to see the snap here to Greg Daum. They're just working the inside of this man-to-man coverage that Triopia's come out here in this series. I think they're going to be just a little bit short of the first down.
Tim Wise making the tackle. They're holding on for dear life to make sure that Keyser did not get first down yardage, and let's see how close he is here. Yep, you're right, just a little bit short, about a half a yard short or so. Now this is go time.
Absolutely.
For Stark County.
You have to understand, this Triopia defense doesn't give up many points. They've only given up 101 points all year. I mean, that's in, they've played this many games. I mean, this is a very stingy defense.
Average score for Triopia this year, 41-8.
Wow.
Undefeated and up 22-0 here in the 1A title game, but now out of a traditional offensive formation, Stark County is going to go on 4th and less than a yard. I formation as Dom ducks under center. He's going to surge forward, and I don't know.
I'm not sure he got it.
He did not get a lot of forward movement there, trying the quarterback sneak, and I don't think he got it.
You have a lot of beef up front there with Triopia. You have 235-pound Jacob Whited. You've got Jacob Perry, 6 foot 236, and then Jacob Millard, 6'1", 261. Front 3 right there. We're going to see the replay. We'll let the fans make the call on this one. Great look at it from a nice tight shot. I'm not sure Greg Daum advanced that football at all.
I think it actually looks like they marked the ball back from where it was spotted on the previous play.
I think you're right.
It's first down for Triopia.
Wow.
The Trojan defense comes up big after the 72-yard kickoff return by Ewing. Jade Nord's team comes away frustrated once again.
Well, we've talked about how stingy the defense is. That is a huge stand here late in the second quarter, and now they'll get a chance. You know, they've had a couple scoring drives in the 2-minute, 2:30 range. They got plenty of time on the clock. 3:55 left to go, second quarter.
And they have all 3 timeouts. Twice, Stark County has made it to the 10-yard line and scored no points here in the first half. Here's Arndt off to the races. He's got the 30, stiff arms the man out to the 35-yard line. Rich Thompson made a note, told me Arndt is a great stiff armor. If he gets you one-on-one, he can just, push you away, as he picked up 25 yards right there.
Well, he just threw 2 of them right there at Tanner Ewing, the free safety, who's a pretty good tackler himself. Tanner Ewing's 6'2", long arms. He wasn't able to extend out and get to Arndt. Arndt did another nice job right there, getting out of bounds, save those timeouts.
Arndt now with 85 yards rushing in the first half on 9 carries. Kleinschmidt on the carry, and Cody out to about the 38-yard line. All right, so let's go down to the field with 3:47 to go in the second quarter. Scott Leber is standing by. Scott.
Gentlemen, I have 2 proud fathers here who have seniors playing in this game for Toulon Stark County. We have Steve Hansen and Jeremy Berchtold. Their sons, if you'll notice, they got haircuts recently. Last week when Stark County rallied to defeat Milledgeville, it was on the field, right? Your sons cut your hair off?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that was coming?
Well, the school board president kind of made that deal with them, and then we kind of had to hold up our end of the bargain, so, yeah.
And with the economy the way it is, maybe your sons could give you free haircuts from now on, huh?
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Is Toulon going to come back here?
Do what?
Is Toulon going to come back in this game?
Well, I'd like to think so. I think the coaches will get them settled down over halftime, and they're pretty uptight now. I think they'll come back.
All right, guys, it's kind of tradition. In 1975, the last time they made it to the state championship round, the seniors cut their dad's hair, so it's tradition, it's superstition, whatever, but they're going with the haircuts. Back to you.
I like the look for them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would be a good look for me, and I think my wife would agree with that.
Yeah, I hope that never makes it up to the announcer's booth at all.
All right, before that third down play.
Part of the snap, encroachment, defense. 5-yard penalty.
And the
First down.
first half of frustration continues for Stark County. That's the 7th penalty that they've been whistled for.
Well, you could just see the looks in the faces of that front 4 for Stark County. Matt Hollis, Dylan Kelly, Vern Adams, there's a look of frustration like right now. They just can't believe what's happening.
All of the yardage so far in this game for Triopia on the ground, 236 yards, averaging 7.4 yards. And they're getting more positive yardage here as Clay Nordsick surges forward and into Rebel territory.
We're going to get a look to see if this football actually comes out. The Stark County coaching staff was screaming that that ball came out here at the end of this run on Nordsick. I don't think it did. No. But, man, for a guy that's only about 160 pounds, Nordsick's one tough fullback.
Yeah, 5'6", 150 pounds. Arndt's going to get a carry on the toss. He's got room to run and a lot of it. He might go the distance. One man to beat. He's to the 10, and Arndt pushed out of bounds by Tanner Ewing inside the 5-yard line. But there is a penalty flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Yep, we're getting a preliminary indication that it's a holding on Triopia. This big play down to the 4 or 5 yard line is going to come back.
Would have had it first and goal inside the 5. Instead, it's going to be second down and about, well, depends on where the infraction occurred. It'll be 10 yards from where the holding occurred at, and the flag is at the 47-yard line on the Stark County half of the field. There you see it right there.
Well, that's about the only bad thing that's gone wrong for Triopia here in the first half.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay of the down.
take a look at this, Steve.
We are going to look at this from ground level. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see where the hold comes from. Maybe they're on the outside by one of the tight ends blocking down, as Arndt just picks up another huge long run, showing that speed that we didn't talk a lot about early in the first half.
2nd down and 12. The counter again. Dinsmore across the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
Triopia does have all 3 timeouts remaining here. Minute 37 on the clock. They're going to go to a little bit of a hurry-up offense, see if they can get things rolling that way.
3rd and 8. Toss. Arndt off the right side. Fights forward, dives in. I think he got it. With the dive at the end of the run, depending on the spot here, it should be a 1st down for Triopia.
1st down, or the measurement will stop the clock.
And they did not measure, they just signaled the 1st down, and here you see the replay. This toss has been effective all game long.
It really has, because you know why? Once again, they established that trap inside. And I mean, now everything is going outside. We talked about that in the 1st quarter. Now everything's Arndt outside.
15-3. 1st downs in favor of Triopia, as you see on your screen. Phelps is going to keep it. He's got the 40, turns the corner, 35. All the way to the 20 and not tackled till he gets down to the 15-yard line. Forced out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 1:03 to go.
I'm telling you what, I've seen more pancakes in this first half as Brian Carragher, once again, number 53. Watch him on the outside. He's going to get another pancake right there and continue down the field. You're not going to see it. Maybe we'll see it here at the end. He gets another one, as I think we're going to have a penalty on the play to bring this play back. Nice run by Phelps.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice run. Well, he's strong.
He is.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 1st down.
Boy, I didn't see the holding on that. Did you, Jim? I saw a lot of black jerseys on the ground as Stark County really had a hard time finding the running back.
2 holding penalties on this drive for Triopia. Triopia Meridosia, the Trojans on top 22-0. Nordsick on the carry out of the fullback position and gets a lot of that penalty yardage back, as we're now inside of a minute for the 1st half. Triopia has all 3 timeouts left, and they're going to spend one right here.
Timeout.
It'll be 2nd down and 15 after the timeout. Boy, and Triopia has put on a wing T clinic here in the 1st half. 273 yards rushing.
If you want to get a game film on how to run the wing T, double wing, whatever formation you want to call it, they have done a tremendous job. They have 3 backs over 50 yards, 2 more backs over 35 yards. I mean, it's just a great display of spreading the wealth once again on this offense.
They've got 5 running backs who have carried the ball at least 5 times here in the 1st half. Arndt has 95 yards rushing, as you'll look at the huddle there for Stark County, trying to find some way to make a stop here.
Well, I like the play mix-up, play calling that Triopia has. You know, we talked about they established that inside trap game. Then they went to the toss with Arndt and that little boot with the quarterback Phelps. And I mean, they've established both sides of the football here in the 1st half.
Next game, next of the 8 championship games over this weekend, Casey Westfield and Immaculate Conception, the 2A title game scheduled to kick off at 1 o'clock. But here, it's 2nd down and short for the Trojans. A toss, this time it's Dinsmore coming to the near side, and he's going to be wrestled down shy of the 1st down. So he did get out of bounds, so the clock stops. It helps preserve a Triopia timeout. We'll take a look at this one again.
Yeah, you're going to see it. This time, Stark County is able to get off of the blocks a little bit. They got up underneath the linemen, got off blocks. I'm not sure that he actually got out of bounds to stop that clock. The official thought he did, but that saves a timeout for Triopia.
3rd and 3. Triopia 4 for 5 on 3rd down here in the 1st half. And it is a fullback give, and it's a 1st down run for Nordsick. They only needed to get 3, and he carries down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, that's going to put another back over 50 yards here in the first half as Clay Nordzik picks up a huge first. He's tough to find in there. You know, you've got the big running back in the back and Arndt, but right there, you can't really find Nordzik. You see those linebackers standing up too tall. I know they're getting pushed back by the offensive lineman, but Nordzik does a nice job hiding himself inside.
13-yard run on 3rd and 3. And play action. Phelps is going to keep it, and he's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield. Aaron Nunez with a rarity, a negative rushing play for Triopia here in the first half.
Well, I think he's tired of seeing that play. He just decided to come on that one, got up inside, made a nice play.
You see Rich Thompson in his 2nd year with Triopia. He's a graduate, an alum of nearby Virginia High School. His first head coaching job was at his alma mater. Was there for 8 years, coached at Beardstown for 6 years, now in his 2nd year with Triopia, and his record over the past 2 years is 22-2. There you see the histories for these teams. Triopia played in the first 3 1A state title games ever played, won the state championship back in 1975, and they're back in the title game for the first time since 1976. And Stark County, they played for the title back in 1997.
Nice history there on both of those squads. Great to see them both back. And this is a pretty good football game here. A lot of talent down on the field. Let's see with Triopia here with 29 seconds left to go in the first half what they can do.
2nd and 12. They haven't completed a pass yet. And they're going to toss it to Arndt. He's got room to run again. Arndt breaking tackles. He's going to take it to the house. Arndt with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the first half, a 26-yard run, but another penalty flag is in there.
Well, I think they're going to get a hold on the outside. I think Jacob Fricke, number 3, he was really manhandling his man. As you see the preliminary call, hold, 3rd hold on this drive, and this one is going to be huge. We might get a chance to see this one. Watch the right tight end, number 3, Jacob Fricke. I mean, he's manhandling his man, but the official saw it that he got a little hand on the jersey, and that touchdown by Arndt is going to come back.
Well, you see it?
Yeah, you see it at the top of the screen. He does have a hand on that jersey. Nice call by the official. I'll tell you, there's a reason they're in this football game, these officials. They don't miss anything.
21 seconds for the 2nd quarter. Phelps fakes to Arndt, stops, looking to throw, and he does, and the ball jarred away. Nice hit, recorded by Greg Dahm, the quarterback, also playing defensive back. Knocked the ball away from Jacob Fricke.
Yeah, that's a big tight end to hit right there. Fricke, 6'5", 210, coming across the middle. Phelps does a nice job. They covered the outside receiver, went off to his 2nd option right there, and Dahm comes up. Little frustration in that hit, I think, on Greg Dahm's part. That's how you hit, face on the football, jar it loose.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 12 for Triopia. They still have 1 timeout left. Let's see if Phelps will put it up. He's 0 of 4 passing so far. From the 28, play action. Phelps, he's got a man wide open. It's Dinsmore, and he can't hold on. Wow. Bradley Dinsmore would have been in the end zone about right now, but he could not hold on. It brings up 4th down.
Well, that's the only play he hasn't made this first half. He's had an incredible half. And Kellen Phelps, I mean, he just puts this ball right on the money. That was an easy touchdown if Dinsmore is able to bring that football in. Great throw.
So it'll be 4th down from the 27-yard line on the Stark County half of the field. You see the numbers passing-wise on the season for Kellen Phelps. Again, the counter. Dinsmore on the counter did not get the first down. He picked up about 4 yards or so. And that'll be the final play of the first half. Well, no, it will not be, because on the change of possession, the clock will stop and Stark County will have 1 play. 22-0, Trojans on top, and 299 yards rushing in the first half for Triopia.
Just got a great look at David Arndt. Very happy young man. He's had quite a first half. 12 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, and a lot of big other runs in the first half.
Tight formation here. Dom under center. They might just take a knee, and that is what Greg Dom is going to do. And Jade Nord and his coaching staff will take his team into the locker room and try to regroup with Triopia on top 22-0. Rich Thompson and his team go to the locker room feeling they executed the game plan to perfection. All right, let's go down to the field. Scott Leber is standing by.
That's right. I'm here with Coach Rich Thompson. Coach, your team has 299 yards rushing in this first half. 3 long sustained touchdown marches. You got to love the way your guys are controlling the football and controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're playing really well offensively, well, really, and defensively. I mean, that last stand down there on 4th down was huge for us. I love the way our offensive line's blocking right now. I feel like we can do about whatever we want to do. But, you know, they're a good team. They were down 18-0 last week, and we're not going to let them come back. I mean, they're gonna come fight in second half.
You happy with the pressure your defense is getting on Greg Dom and the way you're handling that spread offense?
Yeah, I think it seems like we're getting some pressure on him, getting some hands up in his face and making him throw a little quicker than he wants to. And I think our kids are running with their receivers pretty well right now.
Coach, thank you. Good luck the second half.
Thank you.
It's Rich Thompson. Guys, send it back up to you.
All right, 3 first-half touchdowns for Triopia, and they lead here in the 1A state title game, 22-0. We'll have more from Memorial Stadium in Champaign after this timeout. This is a local break. We'll be back after these words from
Triopia having their way with Stark County here after 1 half of play as we begin our 24 hours of high school football coverage from Memorial Stadium. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Bernhard back in our IHSA TV network studios. Once again, joined this year by Jason Kirby from Sherrard High School and Scott Hamilton from Unity High School. And gentlemen, I mean, we got things started, a couple of turnovers early, but after those first 3 or 4 minutes, this was all Triopia.
I think you really saw at the beginning of the half the nerves associated with the state championship game. Stark County looked pretty nervous coming out. The fumble on the long snap at the beginning of the game, and then some penalties were really costly for them.
Yeah, and like a good team does, Triopia was able to take advantage of some of those mistakes and jump on the board quick. And Stark County is a big comeback team, though. They trailed last week, I believe, 18-0 at half, and they're still playing here today, so this isn't over yet.
Well, you mentioned the penalties, but isn't that how you get into a rhythm of a half? And they might have gotten 5 or 6 yards and then coming on back 5. And Stark County never really, I don't think they were the entire half got their feet underneath them.
Well, I agree with that, but yet at the same time, Triopia's had an awful lot of penalties as well. And yet they've come back and marched the ball on a quarter.
Yeah, those penalties for Triopia came on this last drive. I think they had 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties, and it could very easily be 30-0, but Stark County's not unfamiliar with this, and hopefully they'll get some breaks early on and get on the board and make it a game.
We'll take a look a little bit later on during halftime at all the statistics, but Scott, you were just mentioning a couple of numbers that a lot of people tend to ignore, I think, when you get to these type of games. The number of plays run in the first half.
Well, I think that, anytime you're a wing T team and you want to control the line of scrimmage, you want to control the ball, and I'm going to give a little shout out here to the offensive lineman, number 51, Jacob Millard. Number 64, Adam Brockhouse. 53, Brian Carragher. 59, Mark Williams. 58, Jacob Whitted. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage for Triopia.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, their skill kids get all the love, but those guys, along with their tight ends, have dominated the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, all of those guys.
Yeah, I think they have 300 yards of rushing and 0 passing yards at halftime. So, not only are they big, but they move awfully well. They're out there pulling on some of the trap plays, and they're getting blocks downfield. And, when you've got good backs and got downfield blocks, great things happen.
Well, I was going to say, okay, we will give them some love. David Arndt has over 100 yards here in this first half. He knows how to use those blockers.
Easily. And I think that the use of their fullback he has done just enough to make it so that you have to respect the inside, and yet as you're respecting the inside, you're giving the perimeter both their quarterback on bootlegs and Arndt on the counters and the buck sweeps.
Yeah, I agree, and let's not forget what they're doing defensively here as well. They're doing a great job of rushing 2. They've got all their guys standing up and bringing pressures from different spots and mixing up coverages, and I think they're confusing Stark County right now.
I think that's one of the things that has been most telling about the first half is the fact that Stark County can't run the ball.
Right.
Their inability to run the ball is making it so that they're so one-sided that Triopia is just dropping everybody, and they're controlling the run with the few guys that they have up there. That's making the game easy for their defense.
Once again, it's those big linemen up front.
There you go. I knew we were eventually going to do it. I was told we had to get to a break, but I had to let Scott get the lineman back in there.
That's right.
We're at the half here in our 1A state title game, and it's Concord Triopia Co-op 22, Stark County nothing. Back with more from Memorial Stadium after this. Wonderful day here in Champaign-Urbana. Not so much, though, for the Toulon Stark County Rebels. They're on the short end of that 22-0 halftime score. And we welcome you back here to our studios here up high atop Memorial Stadium. Dave Bernhardt, Jason Kirby, and Scott Hamilton with you. We talked about those halftime numbers. And, you know, if you're just tuning in now and you even missed that halftime score, all you have to take a look at our Menards halftime stats. It will tell you the story. Here they are. Menards halftime stats brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And fellas, 299 rushing yards to 2, 16 first downs to 3, 299 total yards to 54. It says it all right there.
2 rush yards. Yeah, as we were talking about, that's making it pretty one-sided. And yet only having 52 pass yards at this point, you're seeing that the Triopia defense is controlling this football game.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought turnovers early might be a story early. It turned out they washed each other out, except that one turnover that Stark County had led to a 90-yard drive. But we saw the penalties there moments ago, and there you are, Scott, the 2-1 time and possession advantage.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what Triopia wants to do. They want to lean on you with up front guys, spread their backs. They do a really nice job of getting all their guys in the mix.
Let's take a look at our Honda halftime highlights. Happy Honda Days from your local Honda dealer. And we get it started with the white jerseyed Triopia, and coming around is Kellen Phelps. His pass over the middle deflected. Here's the early turnover. This was the bright spot early for Stark County. Tanner Ewing with the interception. This came on the very first possession for Triopia, and from there Stark County moved the ball. It's actually the best they had moved it all the way. However, a fumble recovery by Triopia leads to a 90-yard drive the other way, and it leads to this 2-yard touchdown run by Kellen Phelps. David Arndt's 2-point conversion made it an 8-0 lead for Triopia early on. There you see another touchdown indication. There were 3 touchdowns in that first half. Brad Dinsmore had one. David Arndt with a 26-yard touchdown run, had another touchdown run called back because of penalty, and you're very right. This could be a 30-0 game at the half. But let me ask this. What does it take? We see all these numbers in the first half, but that's history now. What's it take here in the second half for Stark County?
Well, go ahead.
I think that they have to come out and try to get a stop here early. I believe Triopia will have the ball to start the second half. They have to try to find a way to get a stop, and then I don't know if they need to score on the first drive, but they definitely need to be able to move the ball and show that they can do some things.
Are they going to be able to move the ball on the ground, or is this strictly going to have to be Greg Dahm in the air?
Well, I think they're going to have to mix it up, Jason.
I agree. I think that I disagree. I think they're going to have to score. I think their confidence is going to need that at this point in the game, especially with the way they've come back in the past. But I think they're going to have to mix it up. I don't think 2 yards rushing is going to get them back in the game.
And I believe Triopia will get the ball to start the second half, so you better slam the door right away.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to find a way to shut down the attack.
We'll find out when we come back. This is the halftime of the 1A state championship ball game. Triopia shutting out Stark County. They're bundled up a little bit, but you can't knock it. Sun partly out here in Champaign and the start of our 8 games in about 24 hours. Dave Bernhardt, Jason Kirby, and Scott Hamilton back with you. It's halftime with the 1A state championship ball game. We've talked what's happened in the first half. We've talked about what Stark County is going to need to do in the second half. Rich Thompson talked to us right before the break, and what more can he say? He goes into the locker room and it's all good. Does he even need to say anything?
Well, I think he needs to make sure that he reminds those kids what happened last week in the semifinal game, and let's not forget, they're on the other end of this as well. Tuscola was running the clock out on them. Drop, snap, they come back, hit a big pass late in the game to go ahead. So they've been on the other side of that as well, and I think he's got plenty of examples to go why they better play 4 quarters for that state championship.
I think he's going to have to be pretty convincing. They are 16-year-old kids. I think they're pretty excited going in there. They looked like when they were coming off the field, they were pretty excited, and it would be tough to control their enthusiasm going in. You and I haven't been 22-0 in a state final game. I imagine it's a pretty good feeling. Even for Rich going in, I'm sure he's telling himself that he's got to calm down and make sure he gets through this last 2 quarters of football.
And on the other side, Stark County goes in their locker room. The Rebels look at each other, and they just have to maybe get that glaze out of their eyes, because it still feels that way.
Yeah, once again, you can have all the game plans, but I think the best thing they can do is come out, do some things early on defense, move the ball on offense, and show that they belong here, and then hopefully get a few breaks, a turnover. They're going to have to catch some things going the right way, and hopefully they can get a turnover or 2 to get back. They had a big kickoff return to get them back in. Couldn't get the door done on a quarterback sneak on 4th down. So they've moved the ball. They've had the ball inside the 10 twice. A fumble and a turnover, and so hopefully they can capitalize on those.
Surprised about the number of penalties. I think it's 7 and 4, 11 penalties here in the first half in a championship game.
It seemed like it. Stark County had a couple of legal procedure calls. I imagine that nerves got to them. I really look for them to run their confidence plays at the beginning of the second half. Hitches, some inside runs. I'll bet they go back to that speed option a little bit just to get some things to get their kids feeling a little more confident about where they're at.
Speaking of going back to what you like, I'll bet you Triopia hammers the ball up inside a little bit here.
I'll bet we see a steady diet of running the football.
You know, and what I like about Triopia, I mean, we came in talking about David Arndt, but it's Dinsmore and other people that just pick up the slack. I mean, it's not even slack. I can't even say that. They pick up the spots in the right timing.
Yeah, they've got a good balance, and not only amongst the 4 of them, but they're bringing kids in and out the entire game, and they're getting about 5 or 6 backs carrying the ball, and it's awfully difficult.
Yeah, the nature of that offense, the counters, the making sure that you're balanced running the ball. I think Rich is probably going to say that they were balanced in postgame, and he's going to mean they were balanced in their carries and who was getting the ball and the number of yards they got, rather than the way most people think of balance and being passing. I think they have been balanced.
I think the key to Stark County, they're going to have to stop the fullback. He's not the big name back, but when you can start running all the counters off of the fullback, that's where that offense really opens up. And I think you stop the fullback and hope to get a turnover.
Triopia is 13-0 for a reason. They are showing it. They are the top seed in 1A, and they lead it at the half, 22-0. Stay right there. We'll be back after these words from your network sponsors.
Jade Nord, the head coach of Stark County, is joining me right now. Jade, your guys are down 22. They were down 18, though, last week against Milledgeville. Can they muster that comeback magic again today?
Well, we hope so. We've got to stop getting beat so badly up front. They are really controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
How do you begin to stop the running game of Triopia?
Well, we've got to put them in some positions that they're not comfortable in. Stop letting them have 2nd and 2, make it 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, and make them change up their play calling a little bit.
You guys keeping their heads up?
We're trying. We're trying to keep them up. They know they only got 24 minutes left, so I'm sure you'll see them playing hard.
All right, Coach, good luck the second half. Let's go back upstairs now to Jim Spencer and Steve Mays, guys.
All right, thank you. I think you sensed a little disappointment in the voice of Jade Nord. I'm sure that he's happy with the effort, not at all happy with the execution of his team in the first half.
I think you're exactly right, Jim. A little shock on his face. I don't think he believes that they were going to give up 20 points in the first half.
Revisiting our keys to the game that we talked about before the contest, as you see there for Triopia, first one, spread the wealth. You've done that. You got 5 backs with at least 5 carries, and they've all produced Leading the way, David Arndt with 104 yards rushing, Dinsmore with 56, Nordsick with 51, Phelps with 48, and Shute with 32. Sustained drives, they've done that. Had a 90-yard touchdown drive, had a drive of over 75 yards for a touchdown, and they've mixed up their coverages defensively. They've done it all.
Extremely well. I mean, we couldn't have picked 3 better keys to the game right there. It's not that we're very smart, but coming, watching film, and talking to the coach, we knew those 3 things had to be taken care of. Well, Triopia's taken care of all 3 of those, Jim.
And they lead 22-0, and then for Stark County, protect Dom, they haven't allowed, I mean, it's been okay. It hasn't been great. He's had to hurry a little bit. They haven't been able to create mismatches so far. And maybe the biggest thing, that bottom one, they're not forcing 3 and outs, and they're not forcing 3rd and long.
No, that hasn't happened at all. And, you know, creating the mismatches is where I think with their taller receivers, they've really haven't been able to establish that. You know, I know Triopia is mixing up their coverage a little bit, doing some double coverage. As Jason Kirby said in the halftime report, they're rushing 2 guys sometime, dropping 9. I mean, they're doing a nice job defensively, is Concord Triopia.
It's about lunchtime, isn't it? That pretzel that gentleman was eating, that looked pretty good.
That's right. That was a pretty long first half there, an hour and a half. For you know, we do have 1 passing team and 1 running team, but that first half was quite long.
All right, we're set and ready for the second half kickoff. Stark County will put it in play, and a little bit of a squib kick down the middle, and it'll be covered up. And covering the ball up for Triopia was Sean Kerr. And the Trojans, who racked up 299 yards rushing in the first half, will take over. And Triopia with an amazing number of plays run in the first half. In the first half of this game, Triopia ran 45 plays.
Yeah, that's right. 5 passes, 40 runs. So that's amazing. They didn't complete a pass, but they really didn't have to.
All right, so Phelps and company, you see the quarterback duck under center. Bobby Shute is the fullback, and Bobby Shute is going to get the carry, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive effort, and Stark County thinks the ball came loose.
Well, the official's pointing to the ground. He saw the knee on the ground, and he's going to give Triopia the ball back here about the 33, 34-yard line. That's what Stark County is going to have to do. Every time that a back comes up in there in a pile, they've got to rip. They've got to force turnovers. As you heard Dave Bernard and the whole halftime crew talk about, that's how you get back into this football game.
It'll be 2nd down and 7, early stages of the 3rd quarter. Jim Spencer and Steve Mays here with you at Memorial Stadium in Champaign for the Class 1A state title game. Phelps to Arndt to the 39. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Arndt with over 100 yards rushing in the first half. And 3 different Triopia players found the end zone. Arndt with a touchdown, Dinsmore with a touchdown run, and Kellen Phelps with a quarterback sneak for a touchdown as well. 3rd and short. Triopia 5 of 7 on 3rd down in the game.
Backers walking up here for Stark County.
And it's going to be Arndt, and it's going to be a first down.
Well, it's really tough to defend that. Arndt's, you know, spread out there quite a bit, about 2 yards from the quarterback, and it's just a straight dive play. Linebacker wasn't able to step up and make the play. You see Arndt right there just running over that linebacker, get that extra yard for the first down. As Scott Hamilton talked about the linemen for Triopia, they've been so dominant up front. Carragher, Millard, Brockhouse up front, 3-year starters up front, just great experience, and they've pushed Stark County around. And Phelps wanted to throw, he's going to tuck it and run, and Calvin Lewis is going to wrap him up. And that's the kind of plays that Stark County needs to make. They need to, you know, find some ways to switch the momentum here. We're going to get a look at this sack from Lewis, the sophomore. That's right. We've talked a lot about him today. This is the first real big play that Calvin Lewis is able to make right there. Showed a little bit of speed on that 6'5", 240-pound frame.
Lewis last year as a freshman started on defense and got a little bit of time towards the end of the season on offense. 2nd down here. And inside handoff, Arndt tries to push away from a tackler, and he spins forward to about the 41.
Well, right there, Luke Turnbull, who was our key player, defensive player for Stark County in this game, was on an inside blitz, 5'9", 160, stepped underneath the trapping guard and made a play. I think that's another thing that they're going to have to do. They got to start bringing linebackers. We talked about a little bit of 8-man front. Now you got to start shooting people in gaps, because the other way, the 4-man front wasn't working.
You got to take some chances.
You're
down 22-0. You have to find a way. 3rd and long here, and it's going to be a toss off the left side to Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt turns the corner. He's not going to get the first down, out to the 47-yard line. And a punting situation here for Triopia.
Replay.
Get another good look at this one at ground level. Little toss sweep right there. Stark County does a nice job staying at home. That's what this offense forces you to do. If you start tracing people away from where the ball's going, you'll be out of position. The defensive ends were able to stay. Calvin Lewis and Kai Paxson stayed at home, and that's why they're able to have some success against that play.
Big stop for Stark County, and the first punt of the game for Triopia. Ewing slips, and he's going to field it on a bounce inside the 10. And no flag there on that block, and Ewing ends up out across the 30-yard line. Solid return by Ewing. Might have been helped by a close block.
He actually did throw it, Jim, late.
Oh, he did?
Laying
Okay.
down at about the 10-yard line. He was having trouble getting it out of his pocket. I think you'll see it on the replay here. The second block, it's not the first one there. It's the second block. That is a block in the back. The official did see it, having a little problem getting it out of his pocket, but that'll back Stark County up once again.
And that'll be penalty number 8 on the Rebels.
Looks like Dylan Kelly for Stark County was guilty of the clip right there, number 72. Good hustling play by him, but it's really going to back him up.
Block in the back on the return team. Block in the back on the return. 10-yard penalty, half the distance, first down.
Well, when Stark County started their rally last week against Milledgeville, they used a 99-yard drive to stem the tide and change the momentum, and they could use a 95-yard touchdown drive right here.
Well, you got a feeling that Rich Thompson, the coach of Triopia, talked about this, and he mentioned it during the halftime interview that this game isn't over. I mean, I know they're up 20, but you got to play all 4 quarters.
Dom will stand at the goal line to field this shotgun snap. He was 6 of 12 in the first half, firing deep. He's got a man wide open. That's Calvin Lewis. Big play. Out across the 25 to the 29-yard line. Calvin Lewis making his second catch of the game.
Well, finally they're able to find Calvin Lewis. They ran trips away from Calvin Lewis's side. Dom actually did a nice job looking off. Dangerous play out of the end zone. Calvin Lewis finally got one-on-one coverage. He's been covered by that safety walking over the top of. Not on that play. Stark County got a big offensive play.
18-yard pass and catch. And it gets Stark County out of the shadow of its own end zone. Dom again looking near side. He's got a man in the flat. Making the catch, Kai Paxson. It'll be his second catch of the game. Wrapped up around the 35-yard line.
You know, Paxson quietly had a nice season this year. We're going to see the replay here as Dom stepping up. Paxson does a nice job turning to the outside, trying to make a big play. Came into the game with 29 catches, 371 yards, and 5 TDs. Another one of those very good Stark County wide receivers.
Back-to-back completions for Dom to start this drive. Dom fires again and undershoots the intended receiver this time. Would have been a first down reception for 82 Andy Keyser, but the ball short hopped him. And we're going to see a big third down here for Coach Jade Nord, as bringing in the play for Stark County will be Aaron Nunez. 7:17. You see the time on your screen there. 3rd and 5 for the Rebels. This drive started back at the 5-yard line. Now 3rd down and 5.
Man coverage on the top of the screen on Calvin Lewis. Let's see if Dom goes outside one more time.
Dom
got him.
Fires, looking for Lewis. The ball up in the air, and it's overthrown and incomplete. You called it right. They had the coverage they wanted, but the pass off the mark. And down 22-0 here Do you think about going here or not? What do you think, Steve?
Well, I think this one you'll probably have to punt the football. And I don't think on the replay here you're going to see that Dom and Calvin Lewis were on the same page. Looked like Lewis was coming in on the post route a little bit. Dom thought maybe on the flag route on the outside, throws it outside, and therefore you had an incompletion. Good effort by Calvin Lewis to try and catch that football.
David Arndt running step for step there with Lewis, and it'll be the fourth punt of the game for Morrissey. Stands at his own 21, and the kick is away, and it's going to bounce and take a sideways roll and then be down by Stark County.
Local break.
With 7:03 left to go in the third quarter. We're going to step aside. We'll have more from Memorial Stadium after this word from your local stations. On this sun splash day here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, we take a look at Lake Champaign. It's a great day, and what a view there.
Beautiful.
As we get back to the action, it'll be Trojan football, leading 22-0. From the 39-yard line, Bradley Dinsmore gets the carry, and he's going to be stacked up, and a little bit more pep in the step of the Stark County defense here in the second half.
That's right. They're moving forward a little bit. It looked like they were trying to read on blocks there. This time you actually see them fire out. Watch the defensive end, Calvin Lewis. I think this actually goes to Kai Paxson's side, and he's able to make a nice play with a little bit of help.
A little bit of hurry-up offense here. Here comes Arndt off the right side, looking for a cutback lane. Can't find one, but still a solid run for David Arndt, about 5 yards or so. It'll bring up third down here for the Trojans.
That is a really hard play to defend. There's so much misdirection going the other way. They're actually pulling a guard the other way, and they bring one play side as well. That's a hard play to defend. You have to be very disciplined defensively, and Stark County here in the first couple series may have figured something out.
Welcome to defending the wing team.
Oh, man. We've got a great shot of it, too. Sitting up here, you can just watch everything moving around. Camera angles at a perfect angle to watch that interior line play.
Third down and 4, and it's a fullback give, and the fullback, Bobby Shute, I believe, got the carry there, and he's going to be pushed back. I'm sorry, no, it was Nordsick on the carry for the Trojans.
It's going to be a little bit short here, I think, about a half a yard. Be interesting to see if Triopia feels the need to go for it.
Looks like they're bringing Cody Kleinschmidt onto the field. There you get a shot of Nordsick, who just ran the ball. Clay Nordsick, a junior. And Triopia is going to go, leading 22-0 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play third quarter. Phelps, quarterback sneak, and he found some room off the left side, and I do believe he's going to get it on fourth down here.
It's going to be very close. He's going to need all 6'1" of his frame to get that, but it looks like the official has marked it just ahead of the markers.
He went to the left behind center Jacob Millard and left guard Brian Carragher, and it is a first down for the Trojans. We approach the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. A good look of Kellen Phelps, senior quarterback for Triopia Meridosia. Handoff off the left side, Cody Kleinschmidt fights back to the line of scrimmage.
It's another stunt that Stark up with, as you see Matt Hollis, number 58, come in here through the seam from his linebacking position. Hollis is a kid we haven't talked a whole lot about. He came into the game with 84 tackles, 4 sacks. Maybe we're going to see him get untracked here in the second half.
It's going to be second and long. 7 tackles for Hollis, as you see on your screen there. And Phelps wants to throw, fires down the field. He's got a man. It's the first complete pass of the game. Making the catch for Triopia, Jacob Fricky, and it's a first down pass and catch for Triopia.
Well, a little misdirection play, and Jacob Fricky out of his tight end position. He's a nice target, 6'5", 210. What I like about Fricky is he averages 21.3 yards per catch, and that one he's able to pick up a huge first down.
The first completion of the game for Phelps. It goes for 18 yards to Jacob Fricky. First down inside the 35, and on the carry, Nordsick again. Clay Nordsick, the fullback, with a first down around the Stark County 20-yard line.
Well, we talked about the fact that Stark County was going to have to gamble a little bit. Linebacker gambled the wrong way that time on his stunt. Nordsick ran on the other side, picked up a huge gain.
9 carries, 71 yards in the game for Clay Nordsick, as Triopia continues to spread the wealth in the backfield. Standard double tight end offense, and a nice fake by Phelps, looking for room off the left side. Kellen breaking tackles and not tackled till he gets around the 11-yard line. He's really good.
He really is.
And you know, sometimes you look at a wing T team and you think, well, the quarterback, you know, he's not really
He's
a
just
threat.
handing the football off.
But it's such an important position, because not only do you have to be an effective runner, the wing T is really effective when you have a quarterback who can do things like that, but the quarterback has to make effective reads and do a bunch of good things to make the wing T work.
Well, and he's making a few audibles at the line of scrimmage, running to the strength of the offense and away from the strength of the defense.
He's got 53 yards rushing, and this time a give up the middle, and it should be a first down for Triopia. They should have first and goal here once the ball is spotted.
Well, this is their base play. We've seen it a lot here in the first half. Aren't just a straight dive play. There's not much into that. They're not pulling anybody, wedge blocking. They're just trying to push people off the football.
21 first downs in the game for the Trojans. First and goal at the Stark County 8-yard line. And a handoff, and it's going nowhere. Arndt gets wrestled down by Calvin Lewis. Loss on the play back outside the 10.
Well, it's a nice stunt that Stark County did. Calvin Lewis goes outside. The linebacker comes inside. Offensive lineman decides to block the linebacker. Calvin Lewis goes free, makes a huge play. This angle, you'll get a good look at that right there as you see Calvin Lewis go in unblocked.
Loss back to the 13-yard line. Loss of 5 yards on that last play for Arndt. Phelps, counter, Dinsmore to the 10, fighting his way forward to about the 8.
Looks like he's going to be back to about the original line of scrimmage.
Replay.
This is that counter action. They come back, fake the toss. See Phelps look like he's going to toss to Arndt. Back in the inside to Dinsmore. They pull backside guard and tackle. Tough play to defend.
Third down goal to go. As Triopia back to the line of scrimmage. 6 of 10 are the Trojans. Phelps wants to throw, rolling near side. Now he's going to run. He's got the 5, lowers his head and is pushed out of bounds at the 2. It's going to result in 4th down. Not afraid to throw his weight around.
No, he's not.
Replay.
And that one they were trying to actually find a receiver in the back of the end zone. You saw the pulling guard, Brian Carragher, get out in front of him. Wasn't able to lead him there because he thought Phelps was going to pass the football. And Phelps lowers the shoulder. Nice job. Look for some kind of boot action, something like that here. I would suspect you'd want the ball in the hands of Mr. Arndt.
Triopia trying to put this one on ice. They're 1 of 2 on 4th down in the game. Stark County needs a stop in the worst way. Phelps, play action. He's going to keep it. Phelps into the end zone, touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the game for Kellen Phelps. And it's now 28-0 Triopia.
Well, they decided to go back to the play they've had a lot of success with, this little boot action from Kellen Phelps. Does a nice job. Look how he tucks that ball on his hip. You really can't tell who has the football. And Phelps, once again, running people over. Kai Paxson, defensive end for Stark County, didn't see him coming, and he got run over into the end zone.
That was a fullback run by the quarterback.
That's right.
Going for 2 once again are the Trojans. It's going to be a toss off the left side. Kleinschmidt, and he's into the end zone for the 2-point conversion to make it 30-0. The Trojans are rolling here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. 1:22 to go in the third quarter. We're going to step aside. We'll have more here in the Class 1A State Championship game in just a moment.
When it comes to planning for the future, trust Country Insurance and Financial Services to keep you moving in the right direction. With down-to-earth, straightforward advice, Country Insurance and Financial Services is always there to keep you on the right path. Country, real answers for real financial security. For your family, for you, for a lifetime.
This is our country.
It's not always clear how what happens around the world affects suburban Chicago. That's why you need the Daily Herald. We give you not only the big picture, but also the local focus on international events, business, politics, sports, entertainment, and more. And we do it better than anyone. To subscribe, call 800-354-4966 or visit dailyherald.com. Because if you want to know what's happening around the world or around the block, you need the Daily Herald. Big picture, local focus.
Here is Kellen Phelps' second 2-yard rushing touchdown of this game. Great fake there to Arndt, and then just lowers the load and dives into the end zone. 13 plays, 61 yards, another long, sustained drive by the Triopia offensive machine.
Those 5-minute drives are starting to add up here in this football game as Triopia is doing exactly what they wanted, control the football.
And they're dominating in every facet of this game. 21-4 in first downs is on the kickoff return. Aaron Nunez lost the ball at the end of the run. They're going to say that he was down.
Tim Wise, one of the cornerbacks, made a nice play right there, open field tackle.
Well, you look at the domination right now. First downs, 21-4. Total plays, total offense, 376 to 83. Time of possession, 25:01 for Triopia, 9:37 for Stark County.
Just amazing. I know Stark County has this quick hit, hurry up offense, but they can't have that happen against them and have any success.
Third quarter here at Memorial Stadium, and Dom will go under center here, and he's going to try a screen pass. It's a lateral backwards, and Ewing has to dive on it back at the 8-yard line. I think what they were doing, they were setting up the double pass, and if you look down the field, Andy Kieser was all by himself.
He was wide open. Dom just overshot this one a little bit, didn't step right towards the flanker there, and that is a loose ball, live ball there, folks. Does a nice job falling on the football, but takes him back to about the 14-yard line.
So 2nd and 24 now, inside of a minute for the third quarter. And Dom now will head back to the shotgun, trying to find some way to mount some offense. He fires the ball deep down the field for Ewing. The ball is going to be caught. Oh, great catch. Going down, Tanner Ewing, who's had a big game for Stark County, makes a tough catch.
That's a great catch. I'm not sure that he didn't get interfered with, too. The defensive back right there was right there to make the play. He actually trips on the wide receiver, as we're going to see right there at the end before. A great catch by Tanner Ewing.
25-yard reception for Tanner Ewing. And you have to start somewhere if you're Stark County. Big play there. Second catch for Ewing. Screen pass to the right. Ewing again makes a man miss. He's got a first down near midfield before he's wrapped up, and that might do it for the third quarter.
Well, he gets a nice block out here on the quick screen from Calvin Lewis, number 86. See that block right there, knocking people on the ground. And then it's just up to individual effort there, and Tanner Ewing made a nice play.
And they're going to mark him, I think, a little bit short of the first down. So it'll be a second down play for Stark County when we come back for the fourth quarter after these words from your local stations.
guys.
Here's a look at Walgreens' picture-perfect moment. Walgreens is a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Right sportsmanship campaign, and looks like she's enjoying herself.
Looks comfortable.
On the first play of the fourth quarter, Dom is going to scramble, get the first down. Did the ball come out at the end of the run there?
It did, but I believe his knee was on the ground. The official's going to blow it dead at the play.
So on second and short, on the first play of the fourth quarter, Dom runs for the first down. And now a hurry-up offense here for Stark County.
Well, the official, I think, noticed some blood or something on the running back, but is not going to make him come out of the play and get back to action.
Early fourth quarter with Triopia in control and Stark County on the move. And a pass is going to be intercepted. It's Dinsmore up the right sideline. This might be a pick six. Dinsmore is to the 15. He's gone. It's a pick six for Bradley Dinsmore. The sophomore takes it to the house after intercepting the pass.
What a huge game Dinsmore had. I mean, this is a gift right here. Dom would love to have this one back. This one he just overshoots. The wide receiver you're going to see at the top of your screen is going to do a hitch route. Dom just overshoots it, and that's a pretty big target that he's overshooting right there as Paxson goes about 6'4". And once again, nice little move by Dinsmore on the inside, and then shows off that speed. Very talented sophomore cornerback, Bradley Dinsmore.
60-yard interception return for Bradley Dinsmore. He also scored on a rushing touchdown in the first half. His rushed for 62 yards, and Triopia going for 2 again, and they're not going to get it. So the 2-point conversion is no good, and just a few seconds into the fourth quarter, it is now 36-0 in favor of Triopia as the Trojans score on defense. Let's take a look at the third quarter statistics brought to us by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Yeah, what can you say right there? I mean, that left-hand column tells the whole picture of this football game, but look at those rushing yards, and actually look at the total yards. That's just amazing. Total domination by Triopia here at the start of the fourth quarter.
Time of possession, 25:01 to 11:23, and 64 offensive plays for Triopia, 29 for Stark County. You can see the rest of the numbers in that time of possession. If Rich Thompson could have scripted this game, this would have been pretty close to what he would have drawn up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just talking to him a little bit pre-game, we got a feeling that this is what he wanted to do. Now, those things don't always happen, but there's a pretty happy coaching staff on the Concord Triopia sideline right now.
So Millard, who's kicked a couple of balls in the end zone, will kick it off again. It's going to sail to about the 15-yard line. And on the return, Jeremy Morrissey. And he's going to be wrapped up at about the 34-yard line. So Stark County trailing 36-0 will take over on offense here. And Stark County has just been hit by a truck by the name of Triopia today. It's
overwhelmed.
Yes.
As you know, they talked a little bit, Jason Kirby, I think, during our halftime show. It's not just been total domination offensively. It's been their defense has done a nice job. I'm very impressed with, I mentioned in the first half, their team speed and what they're doing. They're running man coverage, zone coverage, blitzing people. I really like what they're doing.
Fumbled snap. Dom bobbled the shotgun snap and has to fall on it. That adds to the negative rushing numbers that Stark County already has, -9 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it in the first half. This is a quarterback, Greg Dom, who came into this playoff very hot. I mean, there wasn't a better 1A quarterback. Yeah. I mean, he was 53 of 102 for 907 yards just in the playoffs. So this kid can play. He's just having a little bit of a long day today, and things aren't going their way.
Dom 10 of 19 for 116 yards. And that interception that was just returned for a touchdown by Bradley Dinsmore, and whistles blow this play dead. And delay of game. The play clock was at 0. And it is delay of game. All right, down to the field we go for the third member of our broadcast crew, Scott Leber. Scott.
Thank you very much, guys. Joining me right now is Rex Brockhouse from Triopia. His son Adam is a starting offensive lineman for Triopia, and Rex played on the 1975 state championship team in Class 1A for Triopia. Rex, is this bringing back some memories for you of your state championship?
Yes, we talk about that all the time getting here, you know. It was a fun ride then. It's been a real fun ride now.
What advice did you have for Adam coming into this game?
We'll bring home big trophy, what we wanted.
Well, it looks like that's going to happen up 36-0.
Right.
You guys will be a rare combo, a father and son, both state champions, huh?
That's right. It'll be great, you know. Just give us something in common, and this whole bunch of boys have been a real super good bunch of boys, and glad to get home. So.
All right, Rex, well, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you and your son. Back to you guys up in the booth.
All right, harkening back to the history of Triopia football, and you can't mention history of Triopia football without mentioning one Don Kemp, who was simply a legend at Triopia. Began coaching football and basketball, boys basketball, at the same time.
Oh, man.
For many, many years. And he was the coach of the 1975 state championship team. He passed away a couple of years ago. And Dom, under pressure, fires down the field, and he's got a man. Making the catch for Stark County was 82, Andy Keyser. He's going to be a little bit short of the first down here.
Good throw by Dom right there. They ran basically the same route they had just run. Keyser was open on the previous play. Dom wasn't able to find him. This time you're going to see Dom actually have to step up a little bit. Pass protection broke. Dom Keyser sits down in the pocket right there. Good throw, good catch. Fourth down, about 2 yards now.
And that was Brockhouse applying the pressure that we just heard from his dad. And now 4th and 2 for Stark County. They are 0 for 1 on 4th down here in the game. Option play, pitch to Morrissey off the left side, fumbled the football. It's loose, and Wise had a chance at it, and it is recovered by Triopia.
That was going to be very close to a first down. I think he was actually going to pick it up, Jim, but it's not going to matter right here as Triopia is going to pick up the football. Watch the replay, speed option, nice pitch by Dom. Tough block on the outside when you got to hold your block that long. Defensive corner is able to get that out. Tim Wise, I believe, is the kid that falls on the football.
And guess who got the forced fumble? Bradley didn't know. That was Bobby Shute who came in and forced the ball loose. So the third turnover of the game for Stark County. Bobby Shute out of the chute and inside the 45. Shute now with 6 carries in the game for upwards of a little over 35 yards. As the clock continues to tick down here in the 4th quarter, back to Don Kemp. How could you imagine for upwards of 35 years coaching both football and boys basketball?
No. No, you talk about never getting a break. That would wear you out.
Arndt off the right side. Up the right sideline he might go. Stumbles a little bit, but it's not going to make any difference. Arndt up the right sideline and into the end zone for a 42-yard touchdown run as the running clock will now come into effect here in the 4th quarter.
I know the running backs and all the skilled guys get all the credit and the praise, but I'm telling you what, this offensive line has dominated Stark County. You're going to see a great block by number 58. Jacob Whited out in front. Good counter pitch right there by the quarterback. Look at those linemen getting downfield, blocking people, staying on their blocks. Wide receivers do a nice job peeling back and hitting people, as David Arndt has had quite an afternoon here in Champaign.
159 yards rushing now for Arndt. Puts Triopia over 400 yards rushing as a team, and they'll go for 2 again. They're going to toss it to Arndt, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. 2-point conversion is no good. 9:01 to play, 4th quarter. It's all Trojans. Triopia 42, Stark County nothing. We'll have more from Memorial Stadium after this word from your local stations. And the defensive play of the game is brought to you by the Illinois Army National Guard.
Well, this is just a tough throw right there by Greg Daum. As as we're going to watch Bradley Dinsmore with the defensive play of the game right there. I like the move he puts on at the end, gets into the end zone for his second touchdown of the afternoon. What a great play by Dinsmore.
62-yard touchdown, 61-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Boy, he's had a huge afternoon, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that young man get back here a couple times, has 2 more shots at it.
Rushed for 62 yards, and you know, again, 61 on that interception return. This has been an impressive performance by Triopia. And for Stark County, they just were never able to get in a rhythm in the first half. You know, too many penalties in the first half, and when Triopia was executing the way that they were, you couldn't afford those penalties.
Right.
And they were killers for the Rebels. They're going to try to run it here. And a big run for Stark County. And that was Nick Rumbold on the carry for the Rebels. Rumbold coming back from injury after missing a couple of games. And he carries inside of the Trojan 40-yard line to the 38.
You know, I think Jason, Scott, and Dave talked about it at halftime, too. Stark County just has never been able to establish the run at all. I mean, Dom's a pretty good runner as a quarterback. They like to fake that counter quite a bit. They just haven't been able to establish the run. That obviously is their longest run play of the afternoon.
On first down, it's going to be Morrissey on the run to the 35. That's a 26-yard run by Rumbold, equals the longest play from scrimmage of the game for the Rebels. They also had a 26-yard pass earlier in the game. Down to 7:15 with a running clock here in the fourth quarter.
We've talked so much about the offense for Concord Triopia, but this defense deserves a ton of credit. They've given up no yards. They've played very disciplined. They stayed in their rush lanes, their drop zones. They've mixed up coverages. They've gotten to the quarterback. I tell you, they have put together a great game plan and executed it.
Dom to Ewing. The ball came out at the end. Let's see what they're going to call here. What are they going to rule? They're going to rule incomplete. They're going to say that as Ewing was going down, he was juggling the ball. So that's an incomplete pass.
We had a pretty good view of this. We'll see this from ground level. I think this ball, the receiver just never really has it totally. Good hit by the linebacker from the outside. You can see him making a rip on that. I don't think he controlled the football. Nice call by the official. He was right on top of that.
And a timeout.
Stark County
is going to be called by the Rebels. Timeout for the Rebels, and we're going to step aside with Triopia. 6 minutes and 24 seconds away from their second state championship.
You can't ignore it forever. It's your future. It's real life. Whatever your goals may be, it's important to get real answers from people you know and trust. At Country Insurance and Financial Services, we'll help you feel secure for everything life has coming your way. Country, real answers for real financial security. Because this is real life.
This is our country.
It's not always clear how what happens around the world affects suburban Chicago. That's why you need the Daily Herald. We give you not only the big picture, but also the local focus on international events, business, politics, sports, entertainment, and more. And we do it better than anyone. To subscribe, call 800-354-4966 or visit dailyherald.com. Because if you want to know what's happening around the world or around the block, you need the Daily Herald. Big picture, local focus.
It's now time for our Buick Pontiac GMC Drive of the Game. Now is the time of the year to get great model year-end deals on our fuel-efficient cars, trucks, and SUVs. See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer.
Yeah, this drive will be finished off by Helen Phelps.
Boom!
3-yard touchdown run and running over linebackers on that. Look how he disguises that football, Jim. Lineman getting out in front of him and then running over one of those defensive ends.
Impressive. That's the best way to describe Triopia here in the 1A title game today. Under center, Dom. Little shuttle pass to Lewis. Lewis breaks a tackle. He's got the first down and more. Calvin Lewis up to the races. He's going to get into the end zone. Stark County scores a touchdown to make it 42-6. Very nice play.
Very
good
nice
design.
Play. I know that Stark County wanted to get into the end zone. Nobody wants to come into the state championship and get shut out. This is just a little shovel pass. They finally find Calvin Lewis. He has to break a couple tackles on his own right here. Shows that nice speed. Folks, that's a sophomore running into your living room right there. 6'5", 240 pounds. Pretty fleet of foot for that young man.
And Lewis scored the touchdown. Now he's going to try to kick the extra point as well. And it's good to make it 42-7. So a 35-yard touchdown reception for Calvin Lewis. And Stark County is on the board.
Finally on the board as the clock continues to run. We will have the 40-point rule. The clock will continue to run for the remainder of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you talked to Steve about the Triopia defense and how dominating they've been all season long in addition to this game.
Right.
Less than 8 points allowed per game on the season. And they allowed for the season 35 yards a game rushing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Opposing teams on the ground against Triopia this year, less than 2 yards per carry.
It's amazing. I'll tell you, I'm very impressed by their athletes. I couldn't mention it enough in the first half. I mean, they're not that big. And then we get a chance to look at the last scoring drive by Stark County. Nice to see them get into the end zone as Calvin Lewis took it in for a 35-yard run. But I am just majorly impressed by Triopia's team speed and the package that they put together for Stark County today.
3 more games upcoming here on the IHSA television network today. The 2A title game between KZ Westfield and Immaculate Conception is next. Steve and I will be back for what looks like it's going to be a great 3A title game between DuQuoin and Illini West. And capping it off tonight, you're pretty involved in that last one, aren't you?
I'm going to be involved in that one, though. I'll be down on the sideline for that. I look forward to listening to Lee Hall and Greg Bradshaw in that game. That should be an exciting game, hopefully.
Steve is an assistant coach for Bloomington Central Catholic. They'll take on record-setting quarterback Jordan Roberts in Aurora Christian in the 4A title game tonight. Here's an onside kick, and it is covered up by Triopia. Even side of a 40-point differential, the running clock will continue. Once you start the running clock, that continues on. So Triopia about 6 minutes away from being crowned state champions. Back to Don Kemp there for a moment. We talked about, 35 years coaching football and basketball at the same time. And he just didn't do it. He did it very, very well.
Yeah.
He won over 250 football games in his career and won over 550 basketball games.
That's amazing.
Absolutely incredible. And not only he coached and he did wash the uniforms and did all kinds of stuff. He was the heart and soul of Triopia High School for upwards of 35 years.
Yeah, great for him and great for Triopia. This has just been a very impressive display of high school football today. As we just saw Rich Thompson, you see him there on the sideline, got a chance to take all of his starters out at one time, let them get the admiration of this big crowd that they brought this afternoon. What a wonderful way to celebrate.
New quarterback in for Triopia, as Curtis Portwood, a junior, will get a chance. What a thrill for, it's not, Stark County is going to get a chance to get some players in and get some experience on the turf here, and same with Triopia. Triopia has established itself as a regular, a tradition-laden school of late, as well as has Stark County. They broke through this year.
Right.
Stark County, prior to last year when they made the quarterfinals, Stark County had lost in the first round of the playoffs 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
Broke through to the quarterfinals last year and in the state title game this year.
You have to remember, it's not easy to get here. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that are sitting at home wishing they were playing. I mean, there's some, teams that were ranked #1 all year and aren't here, Jim. I mean, this is very difficult to make it to the state championship game.
As more of the regulars for Triopia come out to a round of applause from the Triopia fans here. And, Triopia is going to win the state championship. And a couple of weeks ago, literally down to the end of their season, down by 13 points with 4 minutes to go at Tuscola. You're on the road.
On the road.
And you come back and you score 2 late touchdowns to win the game, 22-21. Keep your season alive. as Tanner Ewing on that punt return there, as Stark County will take over. And, you know, a late comeback and, you know, touchdown reception, Sean Kerr making the touchdown reception late in the game. They had to intercept a pass as Tuscola was driving down the field, and all of those miracles happened on the what would have been the 82nd birthday of Don Kemp.
Bless his heart. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, some things are meant to be, but it takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of hard work. I mean, you got to remember this season started back in August, but that's when the official season started. These kids have been working out, you know, all summer, working hard, and then, you know, to top it off with a state championship. What a great way to finish the season off.
Dom still in there at quarterback. Morrissey on the run again, breaking a couple of tackles out across the 30 to the 33. And, you know, every team wants to win a state championship, and every team talks about winning a state championship. For Triopia, that was the goal. I mean, they came in from the get-go this season, and they said, we're going to win the state title. That's what we're going to try to do. That's what we think we can do. And at every breakdown, when you come together at the end of every practice and they break down, the last words they say at the end of every practice, state champs.
State champ, yep. There's certain years you just have that feel. I mean, you want it every year, but there's certain years you have the right people, the right players, the right coaching staff, the right things going on, and this year's been one of those.
Luke Turnbull getting a carry there for Stark County. It's going to be third down and short yardage here for the Rebels.
Luke Turnbull, the ball carrier.
As we get down to the 2-minute mark
number 76,
of the fourth quarter. And again, I know that there's a lot more fans watching high school football today than normally watch high school football, and you just watch the clock trickle through the 2-minute mark.
Right.
High school football, there's no 2-minute warning. So Stark County will run a third down play. You see 3rd and 3 there on your screen. Dom, the senior, fires, and it is deflected and caught by Calvin Lewis. First down for the Rebels. Nearly intercepted.
Yeah, it was.
It results in a first down.
Right through the cornerback's hand. Calvin Lewis did a nice job keeping his eye on the football. Boy, you can see the look of frustration on his face. He's just, he's had an awfully tough day. Head down a little bit right now. But, you know, he's another one of those kids that we talked about, like Dinsmore for Triopia. He's only a sophomore. Going to see him for a couple more years. I'll tell you what, both these teams have it, you know, have it rolling right now. If they can get a little bit of help, a little bit of support, a little bit of luck, they could be back in the state championship game next year.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to build around a kid like Calvin Lewis, because he's going to be making plays on both sides of the ball for 2 more years. Like you said, another completed pass for Stark County. Making the catch was Kai Paxson. Paxson with his 3rd reception of the game. We're down to the 35-second mark.
Well, you see some of the seniors for Stark County coming off right now. Jeremis Morrissey was just taken out. You know, you got to give a lot of credit to those seniors as well. Uh-oh, here comes the big bucket. Well, he might be being waved off right there. Maybe one of the assistant coaches got him.
This could be the final play of the game. Dom from the shotgun. Firing deep, and it's overthrown, so the clock will not stop with the running clock rule in effect. So that will be the final play of this Class 1A title game, and there you see it. They got him, and they got him good.
Isn't that great?
In his 2nd year at Triopia, Rich Thompson has guided the Trojans to the state title, their 2nd ever state championship in football, and their 1st since 1975.
Boy, what a happy group there. You have to be happy for all of those, especially the seniors have put in 4 years of hard work. Nice complement of younger players. Ton of credit to the community, the coaching staff. You just have to be thrilled for Concord Triopia.
And the co-op between Triopia and Meridosia Chambersburg. The communities that comprise the Triopia district are Chapin, Concord, and Aaronsville, hence Triopia High School. And then they are now co-oping in football and have been for the past few years with Meridosia and Chambersburg. So there are 5 very happy communities celebrating this state championship here today.
Good
Some
look
very
at all
happy
the cheerleaders
there.
Right. As the players are meeting at midfield now with the celebratory handshakes. Very classy thing that the IHSA really promotes. I think that's wonderful, the sportsmanship that both these teams showed today.
42-7 is the final score. Let's go down to the field where Scott Leber is standing by. Scott.
Thank you, Rich Thompson, the state champion head coach of Triopia, is joining me right now. Rich, this is an era where a lot of high school teams are going to the spread offense, but your guys showed today there's still room for old school wing tee football.
Yes, there sure is. We think we do it very well at Triopia, and I think we gave a lesson on how to run it today.
42-7 in your wildest dreams. Did you expect a score like that?
Not really, no. I knew we were peaking at the right time. You know, after we beat Tuscola, we seemed to be on cloud 9, and we played very well ever since. So I just like the way our kids have been approaching the game, and we played very well today.
Obviously, you have some great individuals on this team, but boy, what a team effort.
Yes, we mixed it around, and I think that offensive line did most of the work, but we were able to get all our backs involved, and I thought defensively we just played a heck of a game.
You don't look too wet from that Gatorade.
My backside's a little chilly, but it's well worth it.
Congratulations, Rich Thompson, the head coach of Triopia, guys.
All right, Rich Thompson, a graduate of Virginia High School in Illinois, has taken Triopia Meridosia to the state championship here in Class 1A. The trophy presentation coming up at Triopia. He talked about a clinic, and it was a wing tee clinic here today. 410 yards rushing for Triopia here today.
It's amazing. I think there is still room for that, you know, especially in these lower level classes, you know, these where, you know, they just keep running this year after year. You might not have all the athletes you need, but, you know, something like this where Rich Thompson mentioned, you know, he's got five or six pretty good running backs, and if you look down through, we'll go through stats later, and I'm sure they'll be talked about, you know, they had 5 or 6 people that made huge contributions today.
Well, Scott Leber working hard down in the field. He's standing by with one of the victorious Trojans.
Yeah, David Arndt, a key player, obviously, with 2 big touchdowns today. The running back, powerful running back. David, how sweet is this?
You know, it's good. You know, we just won the state championship, and that's what we've always wanted, so we feel like we really accomplished something today.
It almost looked like, at least on offense, you guys could do just about anything you wanted to today. Was that the feeling you had?
Well, you know, that's the good thing about our offense. You know, you can't really find the ball, and, you know, it confuses defenses that haven't seen that type of offense before.
I'm guessing you guys have heard a lot about the 1975 championship team from Triopia. Now you guys are going to be mentioned right there with them for the rest of your career. How does that sound?
That sounds real good. You know, 2008 state champs, you know, sounds good, you know.
And an undefeated state champion at that.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, young man. Great job.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
There you see Stark County accepting their second place medallions, and they'll hoist the second place trophy. And, you know, I know that for them to hear that now, that doesn't have a nice ring to it. But as they grow a little older, knowing that you finished second in the state, that'll mean a lot.
That's right. You see the 4 captains up there: Greg Daum, Kai Paxson, Luke Turnbull, and Nick Rumbold. Boy, I'll tell you, they're going to miss a few of those players right there. But what a heck of a year they had. You know, overcame a lot this year. Injuries, you know, looking like their season was over 2 or 3 different times. Just amazing season for them as well.
Yeah, how about rebounding? You lose your last 3 regular season games.
Amazing.
Go into the playoffs. I don't think there are very many Rebel fans or, you know, Rebel players for that matter who thought that they'd be in this position.
Right.
But an incredible run, a last-second victory over Orangeville in the second round. You know, scoring with less than a minute to go to win that game, and rallying from 18-0 down against Milledgeville on the road in the semifinals. And
that's just how the highs and lows of high school football go. They come out of the block, win their first game 3 by shutouts, and then you lose your last 3. It's like, holy cow, what's going on? And you know, they found a way to get into the playoffs and then eventually make it to the state championship. I know they didn't get the trophy they wanted, but they will remember this.
Stark County, those last 3 losses, one of those was to Princeville, a team that was undefeated, and 2 others were to 3A playoff teams.
Right.
So hats off to them on a great season. I like that haircut, too. I think that would look good on you.
No. I think
you
that's the play-by-play guy there. I think that'd look good on you. Isn't that great? That's the funny thing about high school, the state championships. You see some of these hairdos that these kids come up with. That's awesome. And now you'll see the captains from the victorious Triopia Trojans.
The captains, Jacob Millard, David Arndt, Brian Carragher, Kellen Phelps. How about Kellen Phelps today? Running the show at the quarterback position, did a great job, scored a couple of touchdowns. And the thing that I was most impressed with, even watching him a little bit on film, his toughness was just so impressive.
That's right. Well, you got to realize, as quarterback, you're going to carry the football. I mean, you're not always just going to hand it off. You're going to bootleg. You make some really tough decisions. And I'll tell you what, he made all the right ones today.
Well,
he was a difference maker.
Again, in this offense, as the quarterback, you're going to get hit when you carry the ball. But if you're running this offense correctly, you're going to get hit even when you hand off. So
I think Arndt made a good point of that, talking down on the sideline. You can't find the football. So if you're making a fake or a misdirection, you're carrying out your fake, you're going to get hit. And Kellen Lewis got hit today, but he just kept bouncing back.
You see Rich Thompson with the fist into the air, and there's Andy Phelps. I'm sorry, Andy Kellen. I'll get it right. Andy. What am I? I've completely lost my train of thought.
Andy Phelps, Kellen's brother.
Right, no, that's Kellen's father, who's the defensive coordinator of the team. Boy, oh boy.
Well, we got it out. We got his name on the air. He'll
yes,
be happy about that. That's okay. That's okay. That's the trophy you want right there, and they are a very happy group. And all 4 of those young men who are standing on the podium had a huge part in this victory for Concord Triopia.
And that trophy right there will go alongside the 1975 state championship trophy, and also with the 2 runner-up trophies from 1974 and 1976. It'll look really nice in the trophy case.
Yes, it does.
Hard-fought season and a 14-0 run to the state title, and that's always something that adds just a little bit more specialness to a state title when you cap it off and you go 14-0.
Well, nobody can do better than that.
Exactly.
I mean, they can tie you, but you can always say, we lined up and we played everybody we could and we beat every one of them. So congratulations to them.
Back down to the field we go for Scott Leber.
Kellen Phelps, the quarterback of the state championship team, with his hardware. How does that medal feel around your neck?
Oh, it's the greatest feeling we've had. We worked so hard for 4 years to get to this place, and to finally win one for the community, it means so much to us.
You guys had 16 starters coming back from a 9-2 team a year ago. Has this been the goal all along, and did you guys always feel this day was going to come for you?
Yeah, we knew. Like I said, for 4 years, we were in the weight room every day. We knew if we worked hard, we'd get to this game, and I give credit to Stark County. They came out and played hard all 4 quarters.
Offensively, what was your goal in the game plan today?
Just stick to what we do all season. Just run it right at you, and if you can stop us, great, but if you can't, then we'll score our points.
You guys are so physical today. It was incredible to see. Plus, you got a sophomore out there, Dinsmore, who was outstanding with a long run and a big interception return. Tell me about him, just a sophomore stepping in.
Oh, he stepped up a lot this year, and so has Cody Kleinschmidt. He's another sophomore. And them two picked up the other side of running from Dave, and they've just been phenomenal the last 4 games.
Well, Kellen, congratulations. Go celebrate with your teammates, all right?
Thanks.
All right. That's Kellen Phillips, the standout quarterback for Kellen Phelps, I should say, the standout quarterback. Guys?
All right, 42-7. You see the final score there. First downs, 22-10. Rushing yardage, just supremely impressive. 410 yards on 63 attempts, averaged over 6 yards per play. Total yards, a lot of Stark County's yards came late.
Last 2 series, exactly right, Jim.
And the final stats brought to us by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Time of possession in favor of the Trojans. One of our keys to the game was spread the wealth, and Triopia had 4 players rush for at least 60 yards in this game.
That's right, with the #1 guy, David Arendt. 19 carries, 159 yards, and those 2 big touchdowns.
All right, so we've got 1 down, 7 more to go. The Triopia Trojans are kings of Class 1A. We've still got 3 more games today, 4 more games tomorrow. We'll look ahead to the 2A title game between Immaculate Conception and KZ Westfield as our coverage continues from Memorial Stadium in Champaign after this word from your local stations.
33 years ago, Triopia won the 2nd ever Class 1A state football championship. That was by a 36-6 score over Princeville. They do it again here in 2008, 42-7 over Stark County. And welcome back to our studios here, the IHSA TV network. Dave Bernhardt along with the head coach of Sherrard. That's Jason Kirby, and next to him, the head coach at Unity, Scott Hamilton. But it was all Triopia here in Class 1A. Let's take a look at how they did it, thanks to our Honda post-game highlights. Happy Honda Days from your local Honda dealer. Our highlights courtesy of Honda, and it was all Triopia except for this big play. Lewis on the little shovel pass. Calvin Lewis, 35 yards from Greg Dahm. Here he comes, the big man rambling in from 35 yards out. This was the one touchdown on the day scored by Stark County. On the other side, earlier on in this second half, the sophomore Brand Dinsmore picks this one off 61 yards down that right sideline. Watch this move right here. Inside, outside, he's gone. 61 yards at that point made it a 42-0 lead for Triopia, and for the Trojans, that put the running clock in motion, and they cruised from there. Earlier on, you saw a lot of number 25. That's David Arndt. This, a 42-yard touchdown run, a little bit of a stumble there. Arndt finishes with a couple of touchdowns, 19 carries for 159 yards for the All-Stater, and Triopia claims that state championship, and we talked a lot at halftime about the domination they had in the first half. Nothing really changed in the second half. But, Jason, I got to believe that there's one gentleman that's feeling awfully good, and Steve and Jim mentioned him. That's Andy Phelps.
Well, I'd say the whole house. You know, the quarterback and father as an assistant coach, what a day to spend together as state champions. I'm sure when they get home or in the locker room right now, that's probably a pretty special moment to get to share something like that together with your son and with the whole community. The whole community of Triopia, I'm sure, is going to be a wild place to be tonight, but they should be. They won a state championship.
You know, what's interesting with Andy is he passed the torch to Rich Thompson. Second year, Rich wins a state championship. Andy could be sitting there thinking, that's my team.
Well, I think they work together, and what more can you say about Coach Phelps' defensive game plan today? Fantastic today against Stark County. Stark County done a very good job all season scoring points, and absolutely nothing today.
Yeah, and you know, my hat's off to Stark County. Start off the season 6-0. Feeling good about yourself. Three losses to finish off the regular season, then to play their way back into the playoffs. You know, my hat's off to their staff as well and their community as well for getting to this game. I know that there's a lot of us that wish we were coaching in that football game today, and they were down there, and what an up and down season, and didn't end on a positive note for them, but I think they'll have a lot of great things to look back on.
Well, you know, and that's what I was thinking as we come into this game. I know the final result's not exactly what, you know, Rebel fans wanted, but think about this. They start 6-0. Everything is wonderful, and then a loss, and then a loss, and a loss heading in the playoffs. I bet you there are an awful lot of folks from Toulon that said, you know what, maybe it could be a 1 or 2 game playoff and done, and here they end up playing on a final day of the season.
Yeah, and I know they won a couple games late during that playoff run, so it's been a magical ride for them, and you know, once again, my hat's off to their community and those kids. They played a good game, they had a great season, and you know, sooner or later they're going to sit back, and a second place is going to be awfully good.
About tomorrow morning, I'd say.
And you know what? And some of those guys will be back in the weight room tomorrow morning, won't they?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah, that or on the basketball floor.
There you go.
One or the other.
You know, the other thing, and we saw the emotion, I think, in the post-game interviews with David Arndt and Kellen Phelps, that there is that history in these schools that have already run a state championship. And you always hear about it. You might even walk by that trophy in your school. 1975, Triopia state champs. And now here you are 33 years later. You don't take that away from you. You earn that one, and now you have dual trophies in your trophy case.
Well, and those kids growing up, walking by those trophies, their dads, their uncles, players in the community, coming up and telling them what it's like. Now they have some history of their own. You know, that they'll be building that for the rest of the time as well, telling their sons, their cousins, their nephews down the road, you know, we're still Triopia.
Yeah, Coach Kemp will be pretty proud.
Yes.
I think the 1975 version was very similar to the 2008 version, the line it up and smash mouth
That's
football.
Right, smash mouth right at you. Wing tee, about the only difference, they weren't foot to foot.
You know, interesting, you mentioned fathers and other people. Adam Brockhouse's father and Lucas Oftenkamp for Triopia, their dads played on that 75 state championship team, and how sweet is that you get yourself, whether it be sweatshirts or rings or whatever you do to commemorate that occasion, that father and son get a chance to experience it together.
I'll bet that's amazing.
Yeah, be a great day for them, and the community's back there.
You know, we take a look at what's going to be happening here. We have 7 games yet to be played here in our state football finals, 1A, of course, in the books. And we talked about Triopia's offense. In fact, we heard Rich Thompson talk about it. It's old-time football. That's going to differ from what we're going to see here throughout the rest of these playoffs, both today and tomorrow. There's going to be some wide-open attacks, and that's the beauty of bringing 16 teams down here to the state finals.
Well, and you saw that in today's championship game as well. How many times did we see Stark County in no back, 5 wide receivers, and yet you see Triopia under center and 3 backs in the backfield. So you get a wide range of what you're going to see throughout the playoffs in Illinois, and we'll see it through the next 2 days as well.
Yeah, it's a great day. You know, obviously the weather's not going to play too big a factor into some of these things right now, but you know, the weather's been a factor throughout the playoffs, and I think people are learning how to adjust the spread and the throwing the ball to the weather conditions, and you know, that was the big knock on going to the spread, you know, several years ago, is you can't win in this kind of weather. I think people are showing today that you can win in this kind of weather with that offense.
Of course, we're awaiting the 2A game that will feature Immaculate Conception against KZ Westfield. That'll be coming up in a little bit. Of course, the running clock in the fourth quarter in this one. But, you know, when you take a look at how these days play out, you come down here, your whole rhythm is off a little bit in terms of, you know, you're normally playing on Friday nights or possibly Saturday afternoons. Now you play a 10 o'clock game in the morning. It's a challenge for all these coaches to get down here and get the routine, because every coach you talk about talks about the routine. Now you shrug your shoulders. You say, Dave, you're full of it. What are you telling me?
Well, yes and no. I called Scott a lot during the course of the week that we were getting ready to play, and talked about how they did things, and Kerry when I coached with him in Carterville. But, you know, kids are so excited about playing. You don't really have to talk to them about getting up for a state championship game. You can say, guys, we're going to tee it up at 9 in the morning, and, you know, you're going to have 3,000 or 4,000 people follow you down, and you're going to be ready to play. So it's different because their meal schedule's a little bit different, but outside of that, it's still a football game.
What's it like going back on the buses or the cars, the vans, or whatever you do, going back to your communities right now, both on the winning end and the losing end? Scott, what can you put into words?
Well, I can tell you from the losing end, because we've been on that end.
I wasn't setting you up that way.
But you know, it was you know, I think once you get back into the locker room and you have just a moment to yourselves, I think the kids realize that you know, it was something special what they did. And, you know, I'm sure that their ride back to their communities would be a long ride for them. But when they get back, I'm sure there'll be people there waiting to meet them from the community. And I think they'll enjoy this moment and, you know, have a lot of good memories.
1A game is in the books. Your Class 1A state champion in 2008, Concord Triopia Co-op, 42-7 over Toulon Stark County. We've got that 2A championship game coming up next, and we're going to take a look at it right after this.